Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, I can hear you. Good evening. How are you, Doc?
I brought the Fide flag here, you know.
That's good. Keep it so we can see it.
So we can see we trying to become a family, yeah. But thanks for having me. And yeah, I think it's important that we speak to each other, interview, and speak about chess so that we know exactly, where we are and where we not ought to be, or etc. etc.
Where we are
So
trying to
yeah,
go and maybe learn from some, I don't know, from the past, from anything.
from the past,
From whatever
and see.
the experiences we have. And of course, you bring with you a whole lot of experience. Let's play chess. Look at that.
Let's
Okay.
play chess. Yeah, this was a little booklet that I wrote as part of development. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and this
yeah.
is fighting HIV and AIDS. This is a book how we, what the chess players do to fight AIDS or to fight whatever drugs, etc.,
Whatever
etc. Not that
challenges, whatever they.
kid.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no. Gee, that's amazing work. I actually was looking at some of the things that you, and I think I was quite captured by also your writing. Was it that you have a paper on sports development post apartheid era? And I'm quite interested in what you may have discovered as maybe some of the challenges in that. I don't know. We'll get to that maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, there's so many things, but like I say, tonight is all about the present exco and my views and
Yeah.
how I became involved in the exco.
Yes, yes,
Am I
yes.
part of the guilty party? Guilty, not guilty, etc. But it's important to tell everybody what has happened. So I hope from my perspective,
Mm.
I mean, if you're the boss, so you should start greeting and giving me guidance as to what we're going to talk about and where you want me to go. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't drink wine, I drink Coca-Cola, but let's go for it.
You hold your drink of your Coca-Cola glass in a wine glass. In fact, yeah, you pour Coca-Cola in the wine glass. No one knows.
Yeah, so let's have a glass of water, etc., a glass of wine, and dine about chess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just get into it. Just a quick intro. I'll do a separate intro with maybe your background alone. But now it's just a simple, yeah. All right, let me just get on it
Thanks.
to start here. All right, good evening and welcome to Chess and Wine, and I am AD Bila. Obviously, coming back at you with another episode. We're speaking today to Dr. Omar Esau. Most of you already know him. There's a whole lot of us who've been in chess for a long time already know the contributions that Dr. Esau has made to chess. I mean, he's been president of schools chess for a very long. I mean, I think a number of years. He's also been president of Western Cape. And I remember that I just noticed as well that you're part of the is it Manyama Club. We'll get to that name just in a bit as well. And most recently the vice president
Money and
of
money.
Manyanyani, yes. And most recently the vice president for Chess South Africa under the Hendrik ExBo, if I might put it that way. And we're speaking to the doctor today to give us some insights into, well, obviously, all of those the experiences that he has had working under that executive and the reason why eventually he had to resign earlier in the year in 2023, which could be, I think it was January. But yes, we'll get to all of that. Dr. Esau, good evening and welcome to Chess and Wine.
Okay, so let us start off and see where we go to, and then you come to the expo. Because what happened, a person don't just get into chess and then you become an expo member and then you
Of
walk
course,
off into the sunset. It
definitely.
all starts, of course, when you start playing chess and the love for the game and get involved with the chess. So just to give you a short background, I am not going to spend much time in chatting about my playing career. Right? Safe to say, I started playing at the age of 4. I showed promise as a youngster,
Yeah.
high school champion, Livingston High School in Cape Town, but never became a titled player. That's
All right.
important to note. A
Yeah.
titled player, you can be a candidate master, international master, grandmaster. But my best game ever is when I beat a retired grandmaster in the Halka tournament. So what I wanted to mention to you is that I'm not a strong player, but I was involved in administration, and I started teaching in 1985. So when I started teaching in 1985, I got involved in chess coaching and chess training at school. Took the kids to the Western Province tournament, and then of course my school became the top school, and then I became Western Province coordinator for chess, and and then of course the rest is history. But if I could just give you an idea that I'm today I'm the uh, honorary life president of schools chess in South Africa.
What
Now
an
what
honor.
does that mean? I've been involved in schools chess since 1995,
Hmm.
you know, and
So your
right
actually
up.
your introduction to chess administration is from the schools when when you were a teacher, and obviously having coached some
And then
kids and
also I
having
played for the club. I played for the club as a junior, Manyanani Chess Club.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was with schools, but I was also with a club, so
Mm,
I could see both ways. I was with
yeah,
schools chess, and I
yeah,
was with the union.
yeah.
So in both ways, I came with a two-pronged
Two
member
prong.
of chess in South Africa,
Mm,
schools chess, and I was the development director. And I want you to know development and schools goes together. That's my idea. I was
okay.
never in favor of junior chess because I believe schools chess is the way to go. So having said that to you,
Mm.
so 1998 to 2006, I was the national president of USASA Chess, the
What is
United
USASA?
Schools.
Yes, United.
USASA. Remember when after 1994, then the whole country came together.
Yeah.
We became the United South Africa.
Okay.
So initially during apartheid, you had your colored affairs, your so-called black schools one side. You had all this coloring ins,
Yeah.
but post 94, we brought all the schools together. And what
Mm.
you must know, this is very important.
Yes.
If I cut off today, this is important that you must note.
Mm.
Prior to 1994, the so-called ex-franchise, the whites,
Mm.
they were first South African schools chess.
Oh, they were called.
They were called South African schools chess. They
Yeah.
were the so-called people representing us overseas, and we couldn't play because of apartheid.
Yeah.
So come post 1994, we had USASA,
Mm.
United Schools Chess of South Africa. So all the schools came together.
All right. All right.
You know what? But just listen to this, my friend.
Mm.
So they changed their South African schools chess to South African junior chess. Satchka.
Oh.
So I fought that time already against the likes of Mr. Ian Gray and the likes of Mr. Serfontein. And we fought because we said we just want schools chess because then the poorest of the poor can also have the fruits of this country. But
Mm.
they said now they catering for South African junior chess. Now, South African junior chess, they say, is catering for youngsters who goes to homeschool and go to university. But I said we've got USA,
Yeah.
which is the
For
university
university, of
chess.
course. Yes.
So you have schools chess, you have university chess, and then you have adult chess.
So the
But they said no,
intention, so the intention was to separate and what now? So was
junior chess, you create
the
junior chess.
the Usasa now was more or less
Schools
privileged,
chess.
maybe with limited resources, while the Sanchka,
No,
what was it?
The USASA chess was
Mm.
all the schools, and the
Yes.
government was now in charge of it, right? And
Okay.
we felt let's go the government route.
Mm.
Now the government route was you have your 9 provinces, you have your regions, and then of course, but the provinces, the 9 provinces, they are the custodians of the higher body. So now you must bear in mind,
Mm.
I was also the director of development in South Africa. Now
Yeah.
what is very important to note is when you attend a lot of SRSA meetings, during that time we were pushing the agenda of 9 provinces. Now
Mm.
you must know
I understand. No,
junior chess,
I
junior
do.
chess wanted to
I just
push
wanna.
junior chess. More
Yes.
important for you to know, junior chess was pushing regions. Now,
Okay.
in the regions, my friend, in the regions,
Mm.
Gauteng had about 20 or 9 regions.
Yeah.
Western Province only have 3 regions: Boland, Boland, Western Province, and SWD.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to voting, Gauteng, because of them having
Many regions.
13 regions,
Yes.
they always won the vote and they always became the Chess South Africa leadership also. So it
Okay.
was based on the regions.
Mm.
And then they say KwaZulu Natal, which is so big, they don't even have one vote. They had one vote, yes, but they no regions, things
They
like
should have
that.
many regions though. Yeah.
So we then came with the idea, let's push for 9 provinces. That's what you must understand.
Yeah.
And therefore, I became I was the development director of Chess.
Mm.
That's very important to note. From 2010 to 2018, I was development director of Western Cape Chess, but in 2004 to 2009, I was the development director of Chess in South Africa.
Yes.
But
No.
what you must also bear in mind, because I was from 2006 to 2017 the national president of South African schools chess,
Mm.
now the government had a law that the school's chess chairperson or president or coordinator, schools must always have a rep
Yeah.
on Chess South Africa.
Yes.
So when schools always have a rep on Chess South Africa, they could always sit in the CHESA meetings,
Of
but
course.
not having a voice, but not having a voice.
But
In other
not having a
words,
voice.
you got no power. You're there, but you're powerless.
You're there to observe. I see. Mm.
You're there to observe.
Yeah.
So, so that is why in 2017. Now,
Mm.
but as schools, we still had our own power.
Yeah.
We could at least develop schools chess. We could could go overseas. We had all these accolades.
Mm.
But in 2017, the government came with a law that says all schools chess will now fall under Chess South Africa, under the federations.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking I'm going to lead schools chess. I'm going to have no power.
Of
You're going to
course.
have no. You're going to be controlled by ideologies, which is not, that you have no control of.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I was also with the clubs,
Yeah.
I became the president of Western Cape Chess in 2018 to 2020, after being from 2010 to 2018 the development director of Western Cape Chess.
Yes.
Now Western Cape is a province, you must understand.
Of course. No, I know. Yeah.
So now the reason why I'm emphasizing that,
Mm.
because remember provinces weren't given the the leeway in Chess South Africa. It's always the regions.
Yes.
But
Okay.
when we came up with a new idea, you can only vote and 2 reps per province or 1 rep per province, meaning the Chess South Africa's executive will be made out of the provinces.
Yeah.
So now you have your 9 provinces that's going to select who's going to be the new chess leadership in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't go off well with some. Chess was built on regions, and chess are now coming from provinces.
Yeah.
You see the because always the juniors fed as junior chess. They were regions, and they also became the chessa leaders. And schools never stood a chance. So we now thought, how can we, go the route to democratize chess? Because you must know chess. Sorry to say, was just a white privilege.
Yeah.
It was when I came to chess in the 1990s, before Unity,
Yes.
and I went to Pretoria University. I saw the most beautiful. I mean, that for me was the most beautiful sight. I saw learners from all over, with the beautiful blazers, from the different regions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I saw 3 or 4 people of color,
But you see,
I
that's
was
what I was.
surprised.
That's why I'm saying I was very interested in seeing that you were involved in the. Oh, you actually have a paper on the development of sports development post apartheid era, and actually now knowing or understanding the fact that chess was a white privilege thing and not in obviously the black community and many of obviously the disadvantaged communities. What were some of those challenges? Because I'm sure that's what your paper focuses on, or at least it goes into that, into some of those challenges. Because some communities were exposed to it. Now, post apartheid era, there needs to be development everywhere, and obviously there needs to be that coming together that happens, especially in terms of selections with many. I don't know. Is there anything that you can say on that part, especially?
That is why, development director became so important
Mm.
because we wanted to take chess to all the nooks and crannies of chess in South Africa.
Yes.
And then because I was a late bloomer in the university doing my PhD when I was still in the late 30s, and I became part of USA.
Mm.
I played for UWC.
Yes.
And it was the most amazing meeting to see at USA where we met people. Was it not in Umgungulu, but in KwaZulu Natal at the university there? And it was amazing to see. Here you see strong players, players of color.
Yeah.
And when I was the school's president, I saw players of color coming through, the school's ranks.
Mm. Mm.
And one wanted to say, but now, why is it when it's the representation of South Africa on a higher level, the players of color is not coming through?
Yeah.
And then of course the rest was history, where we showed that players coming all over the country, especially Western Cape, showed that there was players of color that were strong. And our first GM, Kenny Solomon, and the Willenbergs, and you know what too. So there was no dispute that the brain of a human being is not based on color. So I then didn't have the idea no longer. I felt in the new South Africa, let's go and build the best human being, irrespective of color.
Yeah, but
And
what were the
so,
identified challenges? Cause or was it just development? Like you would, because if you're obviously writing a paper, you're looking at development pre-apartheid and how it was happening. It was obviously
like,
maybe
like, like,
government
like
supported easily, but then now development post-apartheid. I don't know. Because the reason I'm coming at that question is because you were mentioning again the separation between schools chess and now the Sajka,
junior team.
and yeah, the South African junior chess. So now again, you look at the South African junior chess, and then you say the was it the United schools
No,
sports
no,
South
no.
Africa,
I wanted to get this right.
but then it
In
was
the
yes.
I wanted to get this right. In the post apartheid, immediately we formed USASA, the
Mm,
schools.
yes.
Government, USASA ran schools chess,
That's what
but
I'm
the
saying.
government
It was government
government guided.
supported. The USASA was
Then
government
after
supported.
then after USASA closed, after 10 years, the
Mm,
government decided they don't want to make USASA an independent entity. They are going to run schools chess themselves. And
yes.
that is when you had the SA schools chess being formed, right?
Yeah.
But then you must know you had SA schools on the one side and you had junior chess that was formed on the other side.
Yes.
But junior chess was controlled by Chess South Africa.
Mm,
So now you have two chess babies, the schools chess on the
and
one side,
government. Yeah.
and then you have junior chess on the other side. Now, whenever we had arguments,
Mm.
junior chess was given the favor because they were the baby of Chess South Africa.
But then, who was supporting it? If Chess South Africa was supporting junior chess.
So,
You know,
but at least
mm, I'm coming. Okay, I'm coming because it's a question that I've been trying to
listen to
ask
this,
others in the interview, in some of the
at least
interviews.
junior
Yes,
chess.
where
But then, okay,
a question of
ask.
yeah, so it's actually a question of people actually in regions, in fact, mostly trying to stay away from being involved with government from my experience in some of the regions and just try to depend solely whether on private sponsorship or on entry fees and so forth and not because I'm wondering if it is a challenge with compliance or is obviously has some history attached to it because like you're saying there was school shares that was government
You see
supported
what
and mm,
had its, government wanted to see X amount of girls playing, female playing.
yeah
They wanted X amount. They wanted a mixture, which is good because
yes
that forced development.
mm,
And I firmly believe, like for instance, we had schools chess. In schools chess, we had the girls and boys, and we had mixed teams.
yeah
So we grew. Development amongst ladies in South Africa. So everything went fine.
mm,
And then, of course, government then said they're going to give 1 million rand or 900,000 rand to schools chess
yes
every year so that you can organize your tournaments,
mm-hmm,
so that you can organize your development,
Yes.
so that you can organize your administration. So schools chess were given a lump sum by government, right? So that would have been perfect. I mean, because now, imagine we used to play chess without money, and here government is saying they're going to give
So
South
much money.
Africans so much money.
Yeah.
We're elated. But you know what happened?
Hmm?
They put the money in the Chess South African coffers and
Which they
says
still do, right?
they're going to ring fence it.
Yeah.
Ring fence.
Mm.
Meaning that when that money is ring fenced, you can't touch it. It must just be for school's chess.
Yeah.
Now listen to this. Listen to this, my friend, and this is important. So 2018 to 2020, I was the president of Western Cape Chess.
Okay.
Western Cape, the Cape Chess.
Yeah.
And then 2019, I was voted in as the vice president of chess in South Africa.
In
Now, the
2019.
19, right?
Okay.
From
Yes.
2019 to 2023, I served as the vice president of chess South Africa. I was
Yeah.
voted in at the SESCOC offices. You know, I flew from Cape Town. Now, you must know we don't have money.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to let me start with the passing on of Aldo Smart. Have you heard about the president Aldo
Yes.
Smart?
Yes. Yes. I have. Yeah.
He was the president in South Africa, and then he passed on. You know,
Mm.
in about 2017, he passed on. So we had an interim chess SA exco because the president passed on,
Yeah.
and we had Winston Delport of Eastern Cape. He was the interim president, and then he was changed by Joe Mohamali, by Joe
Mahomole. Yes. Yes.
of Limpopo. So Joe became the interim president.
Mm.
Now you must know the interim. They're
Yeah.
not the because of Aldo passing on. So now we needed new elections.
Yes.
So at the new now you must know Hendrik represented Gauteng chess, which is
Mm.
representing Gauteng, and they were doing good work at that time. And Vicky and what's the other guy? Shanks, they were all from Gauteng. Now
Yeah.
Shanks was also the treasurer of Chess
The
South
interim.
Africa during the time of Winston Delport them.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you must know when they had elections, and I was voted in as vice president. Judy was voted in as a vice president. Hendrik as president. Shanks Naidu was voted in as the treasurer, a very respected person, right? Then Vicky was also on the committee. But then we had Bridget Brody, who was the secretary. Bridget Brody also subsequently passed on.
Mm.
And we had Umfundu. Umfundu was one of the youngsters, but is going to be assistant secretary for Bridget. We had Devesh that represented Devesh. I think Devesh from KwaZulu Natal.
Mm-hmm.
He was representing Playcom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, SA Schools. At that time, we had the guy from Northwest. He passed on now, and that's why we have the new person in charge of schools chess. Remember, I was schools chess,
Yes.
but I left schools and I went to the University of Stellenbosch. So I became rather in the federation because once I left the schools as a teacher, I felt it's not right that I must, although I teach teachers,
Yes.
and they made me the honorary life president for schools.
Mm.
And now you must know, my heart is with schools.
Mm. Yes.
Schools got 900,000 from government, not just like that, because we fought for it over the years.
Okay.
So look what happened. Look what happened, respected honorable journalists. Look what happened. By the way, I'm also a journalist. Eh? I want journalists.
Of the journalist of
Yeah,
the year in Cape Town Awards. Yes, congratulations on
yeah.
that.
I was also went to the Netherlands to
That's
do
very cool.
journalism, and I played in chess tournaments in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. Be that as it may, where was I now? So the money that was supposedly to be ring fence for chess,
Mm-hmm.
for schools chess,
Yes.
was missing
In now the new executive, where does it
under the interim leadership of Joe.
under the interim leadership of Joe Mahomole? That is in
Joe.
between 2017 and 2019.
Yeah, so that time, so the money was not. I wouldn't say they've stolen the money, but it was
Mm.
used. It's maladministration. They probably used it for the players to go to the Olympiad. But bear in mind, it was supposed to be a ring fence for schools chess,
Yeah.
and I was
So basically, you're
very.
saying that the money was used and there had not been schools chess events happening, or the schools chess leadership could not account for it, or
Yeah,
yeah,
no, schools just didn't get their money.
or schools chess couldn't
They
get didn't get their money. Yeah, all right.
supposedly, remember, the federation is looking after chess. They couldn't use their monies
Yes,
because the monies was under Chesa was looking after their money. So they were like virtually babies who can't do what they want with their monies.
yeah,
And me being
mm,
coming from a schools background, I was vehemently angry and I said, look, I'm going to get into the chess structures, you know, as a vice president, but I want to see justice. I want to see that the monies that government earmarks for schools must go to schools. And I want to see a radical change where schools chess must replace junior chess. Remember, that is my way of thinking. So I go in there
okay,
with a different agenda. You have Hendrik there, you have Judy. But remember, I come from Western Cape. I'm the president of Western Cape Chess. I'm a legitimate person. I'm not
yeah,
just co-opted on a and say, come here, be a chess exco. I've been around in chess for millions of years. So for me to be on this exco, I'm not going to be bamboozled by a Hendrik or by a Judy or by a Vicky or anybody. I
yes,
come there and I'm coming to represent the people's voice.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
come, but now you must bear in mind, I don't know the opinions and the choices of the other executive members because I'm there, I'm representing. I can maybe the school's chess guy will forever be with me because we got the same idea of pushing for the masses, and then
Yeah.
I I served, but we couldn't function effectively as there was a continuous administration and threatening court cases pending. So now I become an executive member, right? Election was held at Sescop. A committee was decorated with seasoned administrators, Hendrik, Judy, Shanks, Umfundu, Bridget,
So you're
Vicky.
mentioning court cases. The genesis. I think what's of interest should be the genesis of these court cases ensuing. When did that start? Now, because obviously you're saying that you couldn't perform your duties as an executive to the fullest at the time because of all of those pending
Chess
court
South
cases.
Africa executive, right?
Yes,
Then immediately there was where the interim committee under Joe,
yes.
they said, no, 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 but your executive is not the right executive because we weren't there in the meeting.
In the
But the thing
elections.
is, this elections, but everybody was invited to the SESCOC offices for the meeting. Now, bearing in mind, I fly from Western Cape.
Can we start
Western Cape don't
from
have
who
money.
calls? Can we start from the point of who calls the meeting for the elections?
The elections was called by, it had to be elections. The date for elections was set in January at SESCOC offices.
But there's an
So
interim executive board, right?
there's an interim executive board and they
Yes.
called for it,
But
right?
they call for it, but then
So
they couldn't attend it.
then the last minute on the day,
Uh,
on the morning, they called it off. Now you can't call off elections, and say you're not going to make it. The elections must be held because you can't be interim forever. And
but they
so there
appointed
was
the
a return.
elections officer as well, right? As the interim
The
executive board.
elections, the elections officer was the returning officer from SESCOC
Yeah.
at the SESCOC office.
So they couldn't stop the elections officer from attending, but they themselves wanted to cancel and they didn't go to the meeting.
They wanted to cancel and they felt they're going to oppose, but then elections was held. So now we have the executive board being formed, right? And
Yes, but before we get to the executive board form, I just wanted to to clarify that the elections,
you just
the
thinking
interim
now
executive board.
that this board is going to just
Hmm.
function.
You sorry? Hmm?
Remember, they're not legitimate. The interim executive board had to be replaced. We needed the
Yes,
urgent executive to function
exactly.
properly
I
because
understand.
you need the
Yes, yes.
Olympic team, you need to function. So now, me coming from Western Cape,
Hmm.
Andre Lavax nominated me. Remember, Andre Lavax was my development officer again while I was the executive member of Western Cape,
No, yes.
right? I was
I understand.
so
And I
so.
understand the processes.
What
I'm just trying
I
to
want
get
you to
to the
understand is,
day of the elections now. You see what I mean? Because I
yeah,
just want to
the
find
day
out.
of the
if they were canceling them because we were not there, and so you would know that what if they must have provided a reason for wanting to cancel the elections, even though
But
it
you
was too
can't. But
late and there was no reason why it should be stopped, but it was too late.
exactly,
But they must have
you
said
can't
something
change.
to say this is why we're canceling or we're postponing.
No,
Uh,
I think for me that time I thought Joe wanted to cancel number one because the financials weren't in order of them, and number two, I'm talking about Joe them's financials. Remember they had the school's money that was gone.
so they didn't have financials ready. That's why they wanted to cancel number one.
I
Yes.
don't know what was the reason, but we were eager to move because Shanks, remember Shanks was their treasurer,
Okay.
and he was then the treasurer of. So what is very important is the continuation of the financials.
Oh,
So if
okay.
Shanks
Yeah.
was the treasurer of the interim and he was also there at the elections, and
Yeah.
so I thought this is legitimate. And me flying from Cape Town, remember we don't have lots of resources, but they paid for me to. I think it cost us about a lot of money to fly and accommodation and everything. So now
Yeah.
I come to the meeting on the day, not on the night, on the day I come there.
Mm.
They say Joe is not going to come because he feels he can't make it. So, but the elections was gone. Now imagine all the provinces flying from everywhere coming
All the
to a
provinces were
meeting,
already there.
and
Yes.
they
Mm.
exactly. And now you want to say the meeting is off. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's people's money. It's time. And we needed a proper executive because remember Aldo Smart passed on, and there was an interim
Yeah.
executive in his place. But then
Mm-hmm.
all the legitimate guys like Shanks, them all were there, and Shanks was the treasurer. So we thought this is, and the returning officer was from Sescop, had the elections. I became the vice president, and the Playcom guy was Devish. And
Mm.
then there was dispute whether it must be him or whether it must be the other one, and all those. So what I want to say, as soon as a person became an executive, there was disputes. Now you ask yourself, did you come to serve or fighting amongst each other, petty stuff, or do you want to see proper administration? And I would like to believe at that stage, and this is this is the consensus over all the provinces, that
Yeah.
even when it came to the junior championship, Joe them were all playing there in a tournament, and the other guy that passed on from Northern Cape, he passed on. A very
Mr.
good player. My
Alfred
God,
Plesa.
bless him. Alfred
Hey, what up?
Peso,
Yeah,
very good
Plesa.
player,
Yeah.
and he was from Free State originally. I know him well. So he was also, they were all playing in tournaments there at this hotel. This hotel there in Gauteng when you land in the airport. Everybody was there. So now I'm thinking, how can you oppose and you're still part of this whole regime? And then there was elections again in 2020, my brother. Very important to note this.
Yeah.
2020 at this place. If you can give me the name, I can't get to the name. It's near the airport. You just drive out there, and they had the tournaments there. But be that as it may,
Mm.
uh, at this place we had another elections where the
I can hear you, but I'm just trying to bring it back a little bit, if you don't mind, because I feel like there are some
2020.
insights that we can only get from you right now on this
Yes.
elections. Because number one, there were elections on 2019, and now you're having elections again on 2020. So who was
Yeah.
part of the elections in 2019, and who was part of the elections in 2020? Because you're saying
In
that Joe
20,
wasn't part of the elections, so that means Limpopo probably was not represented in the election.
everybody was there. In 2020, everybody
2019.
was. 2019, everybody was supposed to be there, but Joe wasn't there.
So all
That was
other
at
eight provinces were represented, including
that
Playcom in
was at
2019.
yeah, in 2019. I mean, this was at the SESCOC offices, right? But what I
2019.
want to tell you, there was this, are they legitimate? Are they not legitimate? So then they called another elections. Remember in
In
2020?
2020.
So
Yes.
I think it was at the Saskatoon. There was this AGM,
So now,
and then of course
yes.
we were meeting, and everybody was in the meeting, and we were legitimately elected as executive.
So obviously the
So
2019
now we're going
elections,
to function,
the
right? Now
20
we're
of course
functioning.
the 2019 elections were called by the IEB, right, the interim executive board, but the 2020 elections are called by the elected executive board from
Hendrik,
2019. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
Hendrik,
Then
yeah,
okay.
Hendrik. So it was called because we wanted to have legitimacy. The fighting had to stop.
Yes.
So then, of course, there we had the returning officer with a guy with a hat, a very well-known gentleman. I think he also organized tournaments. And then, of course, the issue came up with about 4 nights,
In 2020.
4 nights,
Yes.
where they spoke about 4 nights was, no, but 4 nights came up long ago, but 4 nights was the sponsor that helped South Africa that was in trouble. You must know South Africa owed a lot of money to FIDE,
Which year?
right? That was during Aldo's regime, the
Yeah.
interim.
Yeah.
So there was about over R1 million that was owed to FIDE.
Mm.
And then there was a body that came together as 4 nights,
Yes.
and this body then gave money to Chess South Africa on the basis that they will host the junior tournaments every year, and they will be paid back their money, and with interest, of course, to host the junior championship so they can get their money back, and that's their thing. Now you must bear in mind, a deal is a deal, and it was signed by Aldo them and by
Yeah.
Joe and by Winston. These were the guys that signed with Hendrik them the 4 nights, right?
Okay. So it's Eldo, the
Mention, look,
Rosma, Joe
Joe
and
and Naidu. Not
James
Naidu, what
Naidu.
is the guy? Thanks, Naidu, yeah.
That's
So these
right.
were
Sorry. Yes.
the
Okay.
guys. They signed with 4 nights
Mm.
to say that, look, Chess South Africa cannot play international chess if they don't pay their money to FIDE. And
Yeah.
how did that happen?
So 4 nights loaned
And
Chessa how much? A
why
million.
we over R1 million or something. I don't have the exact figure, but I know they owed they loaned money to Chessa.
Mm.
So meaning that Chessa will pay back that money. Chess will pay back the money by means of 5 years or 10 years hosting the junior championship, which I think they did, or whatever the story is.
Okay, but when you were in the executive, were you never exposed to that contract to actually be aware of how much was
Look,
actually loaned
I,
to?
I was, I was. Remember, I was from schools chess.
Yes.
Prior to me being the vice president, I was from schools chess.
Mm-hmm.
But being from schools chess, I could have an oversight of what is happening in chess in South Africa
Mm.
or in the meetings, but I had no say or no vote. Remember, I had no arms, no legs, but
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yes.
So I could witness, in all honesty, chess owed FIDE money. Chess didn't have money. Where are they going to get money?
Yeah.
So a group of concerned members who were economically strong, I can mention their names. I only found out afterwards who they were, and I was surprised.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Because
You found out about them when you were already a vice president, right? And already
now when I became vice
became
president,
vice president. Yeah.
and the deal with 4 nights was already a deal.
Yes.
And one
I'm saying that's when you
of
found
the
out.
reasons why some people felt in that I knew there was this 4 nights arrangement, but I thought it was above board because there's nothing wrong. Look,
Yeah.
if a good Samaritan comes and borrows your money so that you
Mm.
can pay it back, no problem.
There's
But that is how chess is going to be handcuffed, and I wasn't happy with that because I'm a schools person. Remember, I want to promote schools chess,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, it was junior chess that borrowed the money.
Yeah.
And junior chess is going to make money now to pay back the people we borrowed. Now, the people who were 4 nights, it's important that you, as a critical journalist, need to find out who's those people from 4 nights.
Mm.
Who were they? That conglomerate, what were their names?
Yes.
And what was their roles in chess
Yeah.
at that time? And how were they formed? Now, some people will tell you better than me. Maybe Shanks will be able to, explain that. But all I can tell you, the way I saw it, I wasn't happy, but I still knew they were doing something good because there was no money in chess, and they borrowed the money. But I subsequently believe that over the years they got their money back. But now you must bear in mind, now I become an executive member in 2019. What I become executive member,
Yes.
and I want to now know what is happening in the finances
Yeah.
because I can't be proper executive member if I don't know what's happening. So all the time I'm asking for finances. I want to see audited financial statements, and I was wanted to know Joe them that owe us money. So they were fighting. Shanks was trying to get the accounts from getting all the accounts together.
Yeah.
I'm saying when we're getting our accounts together because we need to show the general body this is to verification of what you're doing with the monies.
Yeah.
So that is what my barking all the time.
Mm.
Then there became the infighting, the court cases, and for me, I said this lawyer mustn't come in the meeting, and they told me, Omar, are you on the side of the imposters? Now I'm saying, what is the imposters? The imposters is the other group. And I said, no, look, I'm fighting for chess. I want to see the honesty. And then our the demise of our relationship with Hendrik them because, like I said, Hendrik, when I started getting in there, I saw a very noble person who wanted to make a big difference in chess. And
Mm.
I can vouch that he tried to do well. But like I say, sometimes you want to do things so well that in your a lot of reasoning in what they're trying, and I try to understand and I try to stretch my to such an extent I started getting flack from my own province, saying that Omar, are you not really on the side of the oppressors? I said, no, look, no, we trying what you call versoening. You know the word versoening?
No, no, no. What does it mean?
Versoening, trying to bring people together in South Africa. Versoening meaning, trying to bring people together, Ubuntu.
Okay.
What they call, um, what you're saying, and try to make this a better city in mind. I thought let's move and take South Africa forward. Because I come from a background where my mother's brother in 1969 he was murdered in the apartheid prison.
Mm.
You know, Imam Harun. I don't know if you heard about Imam Harun,
Uh-uh.
but I I went the Mandela route. Where I feel let's come together. I even support the Springboks. Let the Springboks win because now I'm not an All Black. I'm a Springbok. And I believe in building a better South Africa, and that is why I felt let's be all inclusive, and I tried hard to work with Hendrik, and I tried to understand his ways and all that, and I can tell you, it's going to be wrong for me to say that he didn't have noble ideas, and I also know Joe is also a good person who loves chess, and he also had noble ideas. I also know Warren
Yeah.
Ajam, who I loved a lot. He was from Elsie's River. I tried to power him with his little children when they also went to overseas. When we let them play you try your best to build. And I wouldn't want to see us taking each other to courts because when I saw taking Hendrik, no, Hendrik, of course, he had lawyers. And I wasn't happy with the issue of lawyers either because I feel let's sit in the meeting as equals. Don't tell me you got a lawyer, you must come in the meeting in case I say something wrong. They want to take me to court. So
Yeah.
many times I was threatened, in a meeting, but I said no, man. I'm not scared, because if I speak the truth.
Mm.
And then, of course, in the executive there was a split, because now I started opposing Hendrik, and Judy was shouting at me. And some people resigned, and I thought, no, I'm going to stay in there because if you want to change the situation, you need somebody to fight inside, and you need the others to attack from outside. So I told these guys, you attack from outside,
All right. I see that. So.
I attack from inside so that we can make this. So as a legitimate vice president, I
Mm-mm.
wrote to Sescock and I wrote to FIDE to say I don't support my own executive, and I feel they must come in to sort of suspend us or put us under administration.
And what was your
And
reason
they
for it?
weren't happy with.
What was it? What were your reasons?
Sorry?
Basic. What were your reasons for not supporting or for even writing? Is it just the fact that you could not see the financials, or was it something else? Was it something more than that?
Yes. Number one, I there was no audited financials.
No audited financials, number one.
but I don't know where we stopped, but I think it was at the stage where you said, what did I see wrong and why did I want to change that? I saw
Anything.
number one,
Yeah.
no forthcoming audited
Financials.
financials,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that over the last 4 years,
Mm.
So for me, I got at first I was sympathetic, thinking, no, they must get the finances
From the
from
previous executive.
previous executive,
Yeah.
and then Shanks also resigned.
Okay.
So now Hendrik had to do the finances and he had to get somebody, but then I
What was
started saying,
Shank's
but
reason for resigning?
now Shanks still must give his reason for resigning for the public, because
Because
I was very annoyed when I thought, but Shanks, why are you resigning? Because we were looking for the financials and we all want to keep people accountable. So if he leaves and
mm,
he's a democratic person, then I'm fighting alone here in the executive.
yeah.
It's difficult. The vote will go against me all the time.
Mm,
So once a legitimate a person leaves the executive, then Hendrik starts co-opting people. Now, when you
yeah.
co-opt somebody,
Mm,
it's somebody that is co-opted but not necessarily have the view of the provinces, because that person becomes a subjective human being on the exco. And I was fighting against subjectivity.
So I see a
And
lot
then
of
we had
questions
good.
that are hanging. Sorry, because I was trying to get to the reasons why you wrote to to obviously Saskok and Fide. But obviously another question comes up. Maybe you can just answer this two for me. That one is obviously for your reasons. Number one being the lack of financials being produced, and number two the procedure, the process that was followed in co-opting members. Because again, I mean, we are aware that a lot of people were co-opted. So I just wanted to know
Yes.
whether, as an executive, were you involved in the co-opting, or it was just a decision by one person that goes, okay, I see this person as a good fit, I'll go speak to them, and so forth. So maybe speak to us on that, please.
The youngster Mfundi that you spoke about, I think you spoke to him.
Yes.
He got a bursary to study overseas or something.
Yeah.
Now, I like the idea of him on the executive because he's young, but because he was quite vibrant.
Hmm.
He had a mind of his own also. Although initially I thought, who brought him in, and whose views is he gonna? But he showed to be a good administrator, and then he left.
But
But what I want,
I think it's not an issue of who was brought in, but rather how were they brought in, or how were they
yeah, look,
co-opted. Yeah.
now that's very good questions. This
Yeah.
is this is sad. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
just want to say we were all looking forward to democratic elections
Yeah.
in which Sascock and FIDE is going to be the returning officer. Remember, we had a reverse delegate, so
Yes.
now we're looking for elections. But
Mm.
what cheesed me off was Hendrik was putting off the elections now all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, why do we want to push elections out? Tell the people that the finances was important for the election. So I was upset because we had to have an AGM where we elected AGM in January.
Yeah.
And when this didn't happen, I then wrote to Sascock and I wrote to FIDE and I resigned. You know what I mean? Because now I could see this man wants to cling to power from now until eternity, till death do us part, and I didn't want to be part of also passed on. She passed on. So with all that collapse, I didn't see that we had a full executive, and that's why we wanted elections. And I think the school's president wanted elections as well. But somehow they just drew out elections and drew out elections, and I thought, no, I'm not going to be part of a process which I don't feel my framework of thinking. That's why I don't know if I got the letter there where I said that in my resignation, I said, gave my reasons. And I
Yes.
just
Yes.
felt that it was important that Sascock had to know that they suspended all 9 provinces. Now, they suspended all 9 provinces during this holiday, like last year, this time,
Including
over the
Plato.
holiday period.
Yeah. I remember.
They just suspended now. I was against the suspension, so my vote didn't count. So I'm thinking, how can I be serving a
'Cause
committee
I was
where I
gonna
had
get
no
to that.
voice?
I was gonna get to that, but I feel like I was not answered in the question of how were the members co-opted.
Look, members are opted according to the positions that's vacant.
Yeah, but then who? What was the process of co-opting then?
The process is this: the executive has a meeting, right? And they say they're looking for a secretary.
Yes.
Now, because we had extra members and we had Mfundu, who was a strong player and he's also administrator,
Yeah.
and Hendrik maybe boots his name forward and say, here's a name, Fundu. You're looking at a young aspirant person of
Mm.
color who could serve and maybe
Yes.
take chess forward.
Yes.
So there was no problem. And then I also asked, why can't we co-opt on the treasury the people like from Western, like Andre Lavax, and include all the people from the
Yes. From the other provinces. Mm.
provinces for a while, but the provinces were co-opted for a while, on the executive. But
Yeah.
Andre them had to see to the finances, but they then got off because they said they were shown no finances. So they said, why must they be on, here with the financials, but they were not given all the rights to check the statements.
Yeah.
So they said, no, we can rather not be part of it. And that is why we started. There was this for and against. And for me, I really had to get off the ExCo because I felt it's no longer democratic, but I still felt I'm going to stay in there and not rock the boat, but I'm going to speak truth to power.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Hendrik, look, we must have elections. I'm writing to Seskok. There was a period where myself and some of the executive members, Hendrik was a bit sick, so I said, now he must then, if he's sick, he must stand off, I'll be the president. So I was thinking, as soon as I'm president, I'm going to just call for elections and we can then have a democratic South Africa.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
like I said, his sickness wasn't real, although he sent certificate, but it was all to. I then started getting the idea that for me it was as if Hendrik wanted to cling to power,
Yeah.
and I just didn't understand why. Why do someone want to cling to power to something which is supposed to be a democratic organization?
Mm.
And for me, I started questioning that, and that's where we just had to go the different pathways.
But that that,
Look,
that
I'm only.
that was when he could not call the cancel the elections that were meant to be called is it early in
Yes,
the year. But then who else was still in there? Was who were the other like the remaining elected
the,
members
re-
at the
the
time
remaining elected members was basically Hendrik, Judy, and myself,
only?
and another lady. So I said, look, we're going to have elections. So he says, no, another lady that was voted on some time back. I don't know if it's a Kukumur or whoever.
Lili
So I said,
Kukumuri.
what's a Yeah, I think what is it? So for me, it was look, Shanks was gone, Bridget passed on. We a lot of people were. You need to have a proper structured executive to take us forward. So whether they're going to vote him again or whether they're going to vote him as deputy or whatever, for me that was irrelevant. It was important to have a fully fledged working committee representing all the provinces in the country. So that type of thing. And that is why when the elections had to happen and it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and I resigned. So that
Really.
is because I was working for elections so that we can have everybody coming
Everybody.
in.
So now, can you take us back to the suspensions then? Now, the suspensions of all 9 provinces late last, I mean,
Yeah.
last year, same time, yeah.
During the lead up to the so-called elections,
Yeah.
I chaired some of the meetings because Hendrik felt he didn't want to chair the meetings with the provinces.
Mm.
And then I told the provinces, look, guys, we need to form a democracy. We need elections. We need people to be co-opted, the financials. We need people to be co-opted for tournaments. And, we need the workers, so that chess can move forward.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys say, why must they give legitimacy to executive, which is not, which is dysfunctional? So we said, okay, let's then move towards elections. So we all thought we're going to have elections. But
Yeah.
come a few days or days before the elections, the audited financials was forwarded, and I was over here, audited as promised. Because every time Hendrik promised us the financials, now we thought, I mean, I want to see the financials, so
Yeah.
that I can know what state are we on? Did we take people to court or didn't we? Because he says that the court issue has nothing to do with chess. I never take them to court. It was like Gauteng
Yeah.
that's taking them to court. So Gauteng is the one. So we always thought, no, okay, I'm here to fight a decent, but I don't want to take people to court.
Mm.
And all I know, I wanted show them to send their financials. We wanted to see what's happening in the chess world.
Yes.
And
But
that wasn't forthcoming. And so, based on that, and a host of other things which wasn't democratic, I just felt, look, I never resigned because you must know at my age,
but
59, I'm at the climax of I'm still the youth because I'm sitting on an organization. So, like you're trying for Sunang, they call it for Sunang,
mm.
restitution, trying to build you can get knocked. And if people don't know your story, they get to think you either sell out or you whatever.
Mm.
It's not easy to take the Mandela route because if Mandela didn't go for unity, there would have been a bloodbath in South Africa, second to none. But Mandela felt, look, let's put in the Springbok jersey, let's bring people together, let's build this country. Those people who are economically strong, take your money, share it with those who don't have, and make this the best country in the world, which we can. I
Yeah,
still believe
of
this.
course. Yeah, but Doc, I'm still. You see, we might even miss this part altogether. The lead up to the suspension of the 9 provinces. What was the process? What were the reasons?
I
What
can,
was the process? And
I can
what
show
was
you the
it voted
detail.
in? Sorry.
I can show you the detail on the phone where we had the meetings and
Yeah.
what was said in the meetings.
Mm.
But like I say, I voted against the suspension of the 9 provinces.
So how many people were voting there for the suspension of
And
the nine
some people,
provinces?
it was basically 4 against 1 or Vicky abstain. Well, look, I'm not here to say who abstained as executive,
Yeah,
but it
but
was
you see now,
basically
yeah. So Vicky,
myself and schools chess
yeah.
was standing against, and Vicky also felt as a Gauteng rep, uh, he was caught in betwixt.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean, and he was a good governor in the sense he knows what's happening in the world of
So basically, Vicky voted for the suspension of the provinces.
sport because he abstained.
He abstained.
But by
But I
in his
see,
abstinence,
but
it
what
wasn't
was
that.
because you see
No,
now you're
Vicky
mentioning
couldn't.
Vicky
Oh,
as
sorry.
a voting
Hold
as
on,
a
hold
voting
on.
person, and the reason I'm asking who was voting is because
No,
I asked you who were the remaining elected members. You remember I asked you who
right.
were the remaining elected members,
Yes. Now,
and
can I answer that for you?
it was
Can I
you.
answer it?
Yes, yes, please.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me. Vicky was on the board, but he didn't have a vote. Remember, Vicky got no vote. He was just a co-opted member with no vote.
Mm.
So the people who had a vote is this: it's myself,
Yes.
it's it's
Judy, Hendrik,
Judy, it's Hendrik,
and the
and then
schools
there
rep.
was another lady.
Lungile, Fungile. Wasn't
No, no,
one?
no, no. Yeah, there was another guy that was on for Playcom. Remember, Playcom had a new guy that came in
Oh.
when the Playcom guy left, Devesh left. There was a new guy for Playcom.
Also, basically, the remaining people in the executive who were legitimately there, besides the co-opted ones, was Hendrik, Judy,
Playcom,
Omar, and the school's rep, which
Playcom.
is Ngayanga, Mr. Fungile Ngayanga. And then there was the Playcom rep, who we don't actually remember
Right.
it was at the time.
No, no, I know it was a Playcom rep, but he replaced Devesh. And when the vote count, and there was another executive member who subsequently resigned, but the executive unanimously voted against me for suspending the 9 provinces.
Yeah,
And but they were sort of coerced, to vote that way. And I said, look, there's no way, man,
but
that
then
you can suspend.
coercion in a sense of being provided with compelling reasons and forced to accept those reasons or other forms of coercion.
yeah, there was this type of coercion, not forceful coercion, but like convincing coercion in the sense that we must do that, otherwise there's no other option in
But
that.
then
But my thing is this.
I guess the one ground, the one I think the one main reason why obviously they were suspended, all these nine provinces, was on the grounds of good
They were not
standing,
compliant.
not
They were not compliant.
not compliant obviously with the good standing document that was obviously
Yeah, with
created
the
by.
good standing documents.
Yes,
Look,
and it
they were.
takes me to another question. If you could just let's just get into that, because I don't know if there could possibly be. There's no, I know there's no direct answer. It's crazy to wish for that. But if you could just respond to this question of who was responsible for obviously the structuring and formulating and obviously finalization and even authorizing, let's just say that of that good standing document, was it the executive, the
You see,
council, and
the good standing documents for me.
mm,
Some we said let's have all the provinces coming on board as committees, working committees, to say this is what we need for good standing.
yeah,
You just need to have your membership being paid. You need this, your audited financials. You need ABC. But then, of course, Hendrik wanted to make it more difficult
mm,
for the provinces. For instance, he says if you have a club Manyanani
yes,
club in your province, then that club must also show their financials to the region.
yeah,
And some clubs just exist because they don't have financials. They just play recreational, but they play in the league and they pay their fees, but they don't have bank accounts.
that's
So they
true.
were forcing all clubs to have bank accounts and that. So I said, look, man, I'm a person that's been around with chess for a million years. I don't think you can now say the regions must now say how many clubs they have and what club is registered and all that. So doing all that,
Mm,
it's going to make things so tough that you're going to have nobody's going to be compliant from now till forever. And I could see where this was heading, you know. So if
yes,
nobody's compliant, we're not going to have a chess election, a chess elections,
yes,
and we're never going to be then accountable. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to take chess South Africa seriously,
but then
and
but then now,
that was
wasn't that
beginning
something again that
to
was meant to be voted on? Did Hendrik force it onto the executive, or was it voted on by the executive?
Now, the executive, I mean, that was the compliance documents. Apparently, I would like to believe that it was headed by somebody like Hendrik, and that's why I would have gone for a more softer compliant document saying that all documents are work in progress. Let's see the audited financials of the provinces, and
But
then
then
they can
now,
vote.
with that document, did it need to go through council or even the executive for approval? Who approved it? Was it approved by
But, but,
the
but, what,
council?
but, but what you must understand, my good friend, is the
Mm,
following.
yeah.
During the time when the interim board was under Joe,
Yes.
they then also wanted strict compliant documents before elections because they also wanted to go on forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were also trying to go forever and a day. And then, of course, they said to be compliant, you must have A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yes.
And that's to keep them in power.
Mm,
But luckily, we got Sescop to be on our side that time, and we had the returning officer, and then we had elections, and then they were out, and then they came with the court cases, and then they went again with other court cases, and this is what happened in South African chess because too much legal bodies given the opportunity in a recreational space, you know.
yeah.
And that is a sad thing because what is the willpower that we have to want to take chess forward in the real way to make chess that the real giant of a code that it's supposed to be, the game first before individuals. And I think that is that's facing us. And I want to thank you for your good work that you're doing as a critical journalist, trying to find out stuff so that you can tell the people the truth, and so that they
Yes.
can have some sort of truth and they can understand. Because if I should sum up everything
Mm,
over my years,
yeah.
I would like to believe that I will put it on paper that Hendrik and Judy, they all had noble intentions to take chess forward.
But then again,
Joe,
you see, and it's
Joe
interesting that you're saying that because I'd want to actually ask about the
no,
noble intentions. But before I get to the noble intention, I just want to just put a stamp or a stop on the part of the approval of the what of the good standing document. So what is was it the executive or was it council or council was not involved? Then it was the executive or it was just
no,
handed
no,
over.
no. You see what
Mm.
happened when it was the interim executive during Joe them's time,
Yes.
and they tried to make compliance difficult for provinces.
Mm.
It's all trying to tell you when there was the interim executive, they tried to make
Good standing.
compliance
Yes, they tried to make
difficult.
good standing
Standing.
difficult for
Then
others.
when Hendrik,
Ooh.
thank you so much for the interview, man. At least I love to talk chess. Chess is my life. You know.
No, you see, with you, and I'm even thinking that the fact that you've done so much, I think we need to do at least, yeah, do this offer. If you could try, because to cover everything that you've done, they would need to have lots of interviews. And I see the fact that
Yeah.
that's why we see we're going around too many things because you love it so much. You enjoy you've done so much for chess, you've done so much in chess, and you've got a lot to share. And that is why this interview is going on so long. So we must do at least once in a while.
Yeah.
We must do more.
Yes, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, look, that's what you must understand in the chess world.
Hmm.
Everybody stays friends forever. Whether
Yeah.
they fight each other, they're friends. That's the chess world.
Yeah.
Nobody, somebody that comes in and very brusted and very fighting, that person is not a chess friend because that person is just a parent maybe that wanted the child to play top chess. You see,
Yeah.
yes, we are. If you are a real chess passionate lover for chess,
Hmm.
then you must never try to oust me from different meetings and say, no, you don't want Omar in the meeting and this. Why? I'm part of chess.
So
So if
basically,
I'm
the
on,
people that are using chords are the ones that are not chess friends, are not into chess for the same reasons that we all are in. Because I don't know.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why you must use a court case for chess to win what? What do you want to win? Because in chess, you
Exactly.
want to win friends, you want to win the game, you don't want to win and lose friends. So court cases is not going to bring us together.
Yeah. So everybody else bringing in chords and all such things in chess, because everybody's connected to some. The thing is about chess, everybody's connected to a group or somebody somewhere, and that is why it's always very easy to actually.
So
Sorry.
very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
here.
Now
I'm here. But you see,
what
now
I'm
we're
saying
talking
is,
about a very important issue. Another one of these very pertinent issues that a lot of people call me about. Because it's not just Hendrik now. Apparently, there's other regional leaders that are doing the same things. And when they go into it, they find out that these are actually just parents who have kids. And obviously, they know that they're going to be out of chairs as soon as their kids leave chairs. So that is why they are quick to use courts. They're quick to get. But anyway, we'll talk. This is another issue that we'll discuss
yeah,
some other time. Because I,
yeah,
I don't see how I'll fit this
there
in.
was this issue that was brought up as well that also had a dichotomy in our executive where they wanted to ban or suspend KwaZulu Natal, the province, because they say within KwaZulu Natal there wasn't financials and all that nonsense. So I said, look,
Hmm?
if there's a KwaZulu Natal problem, take it to KwaZulu Natal. Don't let we
Okay.
in here in
Yeah.
chess. Chess. We KwaZulu Natal have a democratic elections.
Yes.
Executive,
They've
we
got
try
it.
to divide us up into different members where we go to different provinces to see that they're in good standing to help them and to say, look, where's your constitution, where's your financials, where's your players, bring them all together and say, well, good standing or in the process of good standing.
Well, if you're
And
not,
then
help them get into good standing.
yeah, and then when everybody's in good standing, we have a vote, we say, look guys, let's have a rotational province, and then this province must host the nationals and the junior champs, and then the other province, and then we make chess exciting. We go to different provinces and we we say this is the Limpopo experience for the Junior Chess Championship with the SA Open and the SA Cup. So that then they know for that year
Yeah.
that province is in charge of that major tournaments for the country, and then the next province and the next, and you have rotational, man, and you make chess exciting. But if you're going to say I'm the only power, without me there's no glory and
And
all that, and at
but
the
then
end
you
of the
see,
day,
you're bringing me to
people say,
another question that I
I'm
have here.
staying.
I just because remember we were talking about the suspension, but that was before obviously we got cut off. We were talking about the suspensions, and I'm wondering in the suspensions of the provinces because they did not meet the good standing criteria set by obviously the the executive. You're still with me,
Question to round up what you want to hear by me.
please.
I want to tell you that there's lots of good people in chess, and it's just so sad when people want to fight each other in a very hardened way when you could have done it in a better way, and love with love. You know what I'm
Mm,
trying to say. And
yeah.
then also something that I want to teach you or tell everybody out there: when people sit on an executive, don't believe they all think as one. You have different individuals who have different voices,
And that's a
and if
good
their
thing too.
voices can't come through, then the executive will oppose them. If an executive takes a decision, that doesn't mean it's the individuals,
Mm,
all the individuals. Maybe the majority of the individuals have this view.
definitely.
So when are we going to have it where the good individuals will have their voices coming through? And how can we give those individuals the voices?
Yeah.
And I've seen our country as one top chess countries in the past. I took there was 3 years back to back, my good friend, when I took players overseas. First I took 90 players, then I took 120, and then I took 160. We went to Greece on an island, took the parents with, and the kids played chess while the parents were socializing. So economically we were strengthening Greece, but our ratings went through the sky. That is when I played the GM I told you, and we took top players with, and the kids said,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we lose each other now, then we
Can we
can
try?
talk again some other time.
Yeah. But can we just try
Yes.
to cover just those two questions and then we close it? Because you see, it allows us for a few minutes, but then
Okay.
afterwards we're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main one, obviously, who was involved in who approved the good standing criteria?
Now look, the good standing was a committee, man, and the
Mm.
provinces are all part of that committee. They themselves wanted to see A, B, C, and D. So it wasn't just what you say, it's a Hendrik thing or it's
So
a
the
Joe thing. It
committee
was,
did not or did at least try to object to the one criterion, obviously that being obviously
yeah,
the percentage of
these
top
were the,
financials, and then the voting favored,
yeah,
should
that.
be added. Yes.
Yeah, but that's heavy because that I mean, how's the club's going to ever be in good standing? So what you must bear in mind, this new committee that's on now, they are on, but nobody knows whether their provinces are in good standing. So that's going to be the challenge for them also.
Exactly.
And the
But
biggest challenge that I see for them is how they're going to get the financials and who's going to work with the financials to bring it together.
then
That's
again,
also a challenge for the new executive, which is
yes, of course. But see, another problem is so now when that criterion obviously is set, and you find that other provinces have a challenge, obviously, in meeting that criteria, does the committee not find it as their responsibility to assist them in meeting that missing criterion? Because you'd find that
that criteria.
it's obviously
Yeah,
the criteria obviously is
definitely.
it's many things obviously in criteria, right? There's obviously your elections. There's what is as part of what else is part of the criteria for good standing?
The main thing for criteria is a constitution for a province.
The
The
constitution,
province
right?
must have a constitution,
Signed
number one.
constitution,
Number two, they must have
audited
audited
financials,
financials.
but then
Then
now they need
also,
class financials.
and then the executive must follow their own constitution or the
Yeah,
constitution of South Africa, in the sense that when the executive must comprise of the amount of figureheads or figures that South Africa needs to be compliant. Like there must be one female, two male, that type of thing.
yes,
So, and then the financials, the audited financials remains important because any money given must be shown how it was spent.
But you see now the question,
Accountability.
the
That's
main
what we're
question
talking
is,
about. Good governance.
the main question is it or did the is it not the responsibility now of the upper body to assist the lower bodies when they see that they've got a challenge in meeting the criteria that has been set up for them? For instance, if you say that
Definitely,
members of those
definitely.
provinces were part of the setting up of the criteria,
But
maybe they felt yes. Sorry, you may
no,
continue.
no. What I'm saying, in each province, you also have the sports council.
Yeah.
In each province, you also have sports councils.
Hmm.
Now, sports councils, they help to assist the provincials. In other words, say there's chess or rugby or cricket in a different province, the sports council will help them to check if their finances is in order, if they comply with the different stats
So the
needed in
responsibility to
SRSA,
assist the
sport.
provinces, in
So
your
if they
view,
follow it,
in your view, the responsibility to assist the provinces if they are
is also
struggling
within
to,
the provinces, sports
it's
councils,
within the
and your
provinces
federation. So
sports
it's a
council.
two-pronged
It has nothing to
assistance.
do with the executive board, basically. Hmm? Sorry.
No, no, it's both ways, two-pronged.
Yeah.
Two-pronged. In other words, the executive board will help and the provinces because there's nothing wrong. It's good things.
Yeah,
It's
but
to
then
make for good governance. There's
uh,
nothing wrong if the province help and if your exco helps from national. It's not wrong
but
for
you
your
see,
good governance.
yeah, if it's two pronged and the executive has a role, right?
If good things are done, yeah,
Yes. Because my concern is not is
yes.
that now when the executive decides to suspend, it means they're absolving themselves somehow of the responsibility to assist you whom they are suspending. Because then they're saying it's your fault alone and that's why we're suspending you. Or maybe you did not want to work with us, cooperate when we were trying to assist you and that's why we're suspending you.
Yeah, that's why. Can you see why I oppose the suspension? And
Yeah.
when some people suspended, I felt I couldn't work with that people any longer. So don't you think it was my right to resign?
So with those
Because
your
if you
grounds,
can't work with committee any
because if you're
longer,
saying that, that means we understand this thing the same. Yeah, we understand this thing the same way together, right? Because that was just my question.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely you can't work. You can't work if you can't work with a committee and you tried your best, then you resign. That's what
because
I
it means that
did. Although
that
I never
criteria
want
was
to
being
resign
set
because I
up
love
what's the word? I had it in my mind. But obviously, it was just set up, in fact, as
yeah,
a pitfall for the provinces. For if they can't meet it, then they get suspended. Mm.
yeah. I felt like that, and I feel why because we're still building South Africa. Let's make the criteria easier, so that we all pass.
Yeah,
Get the easy criteria, audit the financials, constitutions, see that
but
everybody's on the committee is
but
above
that's why I
the
feel.
board, is not the person that's in prison or whatever,
You see,
and then
but that's why I feel that
work from there.
that's why I feel that should have been proposed to council. Because if it was proposed to council, then at least it will go to the regions, and those challenges of all the clubs will be presented back to say that criterion needs that one criterion needs to be scrapped out because it is very impossible for some or very difficult for some of our clubs to meet them, and then it gets scrapped up. But obviously, if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
set up just by the
but
executive
even
board
more,
alone,
sir.
yeah.
But that shouldn't be a difficult thing because SESCOC
Hmm.
and FIDI, if they're all in the meetings constantly, and your provincial reps, then everybody will come and say this is the idea to have a compliant province or a compliant voter. So I don't think that should have been the major issue. For me, the major is a combination. I mean, you suspend your 9 provinces, you don't have audited financials. Uh, I can be sitting as an executive member, then I can be taking the flag maybe, and I don't even know we may be in 10 million arrears. If you don't have financials in front of you and
Hmm.
you're sitting on that executive board, you might be an idiot. And initially you sit there thinking, no, but after 4 years, you realize I'm now 4 years on this executive, and we've been fighting court cases. We've been fighting each other. We've been fighting. When is there going to be growth for chess?
Yeah.
So, what I want to say, and I'm sorry to say it, but I hope they're going to hear it. Botswana came to us when we helped Botswana. I went to visit Botswana in 1999 with the first post South African team, and we went to Botswana, and Botswana was still in the infant stage. Now Botswana is chess giants, better than South Africa. Why? Because
No, but Janala
you're
just beat
fighting each
Botswana
other.
in a it was a cross border tournament event that they organized.
Yes,
So,
no, no. It's not just about, it's not just about our players that is better. If you look at the organizers of Botswana, if you go to an Olympiad,
mm,
you will see that Botswana is well organized. The administrators, they work with FIDE. They are really miles ahead how to work with FIDE as opposed to some of our new executive coming to board. Why?
mm,
Because we are not functioning properly. We're supposed to be a giant,
mm,
even better. We every time if you go to the Olympiad, you'll see South Africa lie in the middle.
mm.
South Africa will be the second or the third top African country after Egypt, and then we stay like that for years. We could have been like the Springboks, number one.
If
You know,
obviously we could
these
get things
people
in
are
order.
number one.
But then again, let me just try and
The
direct this.
cricket team is somewhere.
But then can we now go back
But
again? Because
the other ladies, the stop.
wait, you said something about what is this? You said something about wait, let me think back. Oh yes, the noble intentions of Hendrik Dodd and Judy Maurice Steenkamp and so forth. And you really believe that they had a lot to offer. So I just wanted to ask if obviously you mentioned the four nights, and we know that they too are part of the four nights. That's for sure. Do you
Yes.
think yes? Do you think that conflict does not make it impossible for them to make any valuable contribution to chess when obviously they have a company, private company that
No,
stands to benefits from chess, and not that they're conflicted in a way?
now this is important.
Yes.
We want people to come with the economic power and to assist the poor.
Mm,
So here they come with the economic power. They paying South Africa chess's debt, and they want to take chess forward. It's a noble intention.
yes.
There's no problem with that.
Of course, that
But
part.
it's what
That's
happens
one side.
afterwards.
Four
Try to
nights.
show us accountability. Yeah, I see the good intention, so I had no problem with that. And a lot of people say, yes, conflict of interest. Yes, but the man says he's got a conflict of interest, but for a good conflict of interest, in the sense where we're going to pay the debt of South Africa so that South Africa can play Olympics and so that the players can become grandmasters. We can't have grandmasters, international masters, international arbiters
But obviously,
if we
it's
indeed by
good.
FIDE not affiliated.
I understand good conflict, but there's no. Do you see any possible good governance from someone with personal interest or private, like someone representing a company, an organization with the private interest, in obviously governing in that very that structure that they are governing? Because now, if now there's
Yes,
four
the law
nights and
says,
then
the
there's
law
chess,
says,
and there's two obviously structures that there's people who are they are here and they are here, and this structure, the four
but
nights,
let,
needs to feed off of this structure. So now, how are they possibly going to serve the structure of Chess South Africa best if they believe that it needs to feed this other structure? Because yes, I can understand how they would be. Because yes, number one, I agree with you that them giving up the loan obviously to Chess South Africa, that was good intention, that was good service, that was something
perfect.
noble. But then now, yes, that structure must be on the side. And then they must allow the structure that they've resuscitated in a way to come to life by itself with its own, instead of them coming in. Because now, I want to understand, where do you see that, if you don't see the like the conflict, obviously, since you're saying,
No. Listen, I hear what you're saying. There is a conflict of interest.
hmm,
But what I'm saying, if there's good intentions, then that conflict of interest could have been something positive. But there comes a stage where you must now say, okay, there is conflict of interest. I'm rather don't want to stand as president any longer.
that's
I would
yes.
rather want to empower another president. Let's make Dr. Omar Esau president. I want to support him, or let's make someone else that's not a four nights person.
Hmm,
And then we can work together hand in glove.
yes.
But if you now say, no, I'm the authority here and I'm the authority there, then you know what I say? We can't. We're going to have to
Yeah.
fight.
So they're
And
not.
I think it's missing. So initially, like I told you, I thought, I mean, there was noble intentions, but noble intentions become a bit sad and obscured when certain people want to see certain aims in
Hmm.
such a way which is opposed to what the democracy wants
So
or
the
demands of
objectives are
us.
different now. They no longer
Yeah,
yes.
so the objectives go a different route, and they start showing up in different ways, and we oppose that. And then they see us as not sorry, terrorists, but they see us as people with different views,
Mm.
and there's a whole conflict. But what they must understand is, if I really want, if I love chess, then I don't mind who's president so long as I see chess is moving forward,
Exactly.
because
As long as
the
if
game is more important. We can all thrive in a power sharing body, but we can't thrive if we're killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And I
yes,
think
yeah.
that has been happening. So let's hope in the new executive, they must also understand, if they knew, but if they can share power, call on people who has knowledge and share it, make the base bigger, make the circle bigger, and then grow. And in that way, we can become the most powerful and beautiful nation that we want to be in chess.
But
So that's,
again,
I want to thank you for your operational journalism, where you want to see good things in chess. And we want to support you all the way whenever you pose us questions.
and
But
it,
like I want to tell you, and I want to in chess, we remain friends. Like I say, Joe, I had the biggest admiration for Joe. But if Joe's administration is wrong, then I'm going to attack the administration. I'm
but
not going to attack Joe as a person.
forgive me, sorry about that. Because now,
I'm going to
since
attack
you're speaking about four
the
nights, right?
administration.
I wanna
So when I
understand. Yeah, please bear with me on this one question. Sorry about that. Because I see that you were obviously gonna get disconnected, and I might not even get a chance to throw this question in.
yeah,
Because I don't know. Do you have uh, any connection with the four nights? Because I'm just looking at a screenshot that I just got from someone
no,
with the four nights.
I'm not. I'm not connected. I'm not connected with four nights. I've got no connection with four nights. I'm
Yeah.
not a four night committee member. I haven't sat in a four nights meeting. I was only surprised afterwards also who's the four nights members,
Hmm.
and that is what I was surprised. But like I say, I could see the good things that they try to do. So
But
it's not
can
all
I read you
just
this
blame and
message?
shame.
Can I read you this message that
Yes.
seemed to have been sent by Hendrik at a what? It's like yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it says it was from Chess SA ExBo, and the members who were there that appear as Ash, Fungile, Gayatri, Analog, and so forth. I don't see and Hendrik and so forth. But then it says. The part that appears, it says, "I edge you as." It's. I think it seems to. It was coming in as a question. I don't know if it was you or someone else who was saying, "I urge you," who's quoting those words. "I urge you as the senior ranking official to get legal assistance in the interest of Chess South Africa." What does that mean? So that's the question that was
Oh,
asked.
there, yes. I recall that Hendrik asked me that in the meeting.
Yeah, and then he says, "Dear Omar,
Hendrik
I will give
asked
you a
me,
call in a bit later." And he says, "Resigning is not an
yes,
option for you."
he,
Yes.
he asked me to get a senior, he asked me to get a senior legal advisor. I said, why must we get a legal advisor when we are legal?
Yeah.
He's in asking us to get lawyer, and where did you get that? But that's right, what you're saying. There was in one of our meetings where he saying we must get legal advisors. So I said, but why must we get legal advisors? Because Sescock is
Mm.
our legal advisor,
Yes.
FIDE is our legal advisor,
Yes.
and why must we now go get legal advisors against him when he's our president?
Against
So he
him, he
told
said.
me as a senior person,
So he was saying you
no,
must
no,
get a
he, yeah.
legal advisor.
So he was speaking for 4 nights. So he in that meeting, I told him, oh, so now you 4 nights, you're not part of us.
Yeah.
You see the conflict of interest in the meeting when he
That's you
now
see the
telling us
conflicting.
get
So
legal
now also
advisors.
you saying so you're saying that you are in a meeting as chess executive board, and then now he's now
Yes.
acting as a senior executive in the four nights.
No. He's speaking as the president, but he speaks to me as the senior executive there in the meeting and telling me, you, Chesa, must get legal advice against 4 nights. So I said, but are you now 4 nights or are you the president? So I told him, stand down, then I'll be the president, and then I can take on 4 nights.
And then you can be for.
But I couldn't do that. My hands tied, but I must get legal advisor. So I said, listen, man, what are you? Are you Chess South Africa or are you 4 nights? And then I started fighting the conflict of interest issue. So like I told you, initially the conflict of interest was good when they're helping Chess.
Mm.
But then I saw afterwards, no, he's trying to say it's a us and a them.
No, but
And when it's a us and a them and you're on the executive,
the conflicting interest is
that
it's ever good anyway. Because the moment the interest conflict, that's
yes.
one party of it is going to suffer still. So yes. So now
No,
I think
no,
his response is,
no,
dear Omar.
exactly.
Yes, he says, dear Omar, I will give you a call a bit later. Resigning is not an option. We have to see this through, and I will. What I meant by you being the senior ranking official is in the context of the 4 nights contract. Due to my conflict of interest, I cannot get involved, and you are next in line to take care of it. It is our responsibility to protect Chess South Africa. What does he mean by that?
So that confused me so much because I'm telling him now, are you with us or against us? Because now he's telling me he's with 4 nights and I'm from Chess South Africa. So I ask him now, what is happening? Because if you're not taking 4 nights aside against us, then stand down and then let us take Chess South Africa forward. And then we can, whether we must oppose 4 nights or whatever we must do, then we can do it. Because what I would have done if I had to be in charge, I would then go to the provincial committees and say, look, guys, here they're saying it's us against them. Let's have elections. And then we throw it open. Then we have a new executive board. And then when he now comes, us and them, then we know where we stand.
Yeah.
But you can't be in a meeting where the one time he brings a lawyer. Then if I say everything I say will be against me in court. Yeah, it's switching caps and it confused me. And that is where I realized I'm on my own here. Although people were confused,
Mm.
So one time we told him to leave them so that we can take control of the meeting. So it was us and them, and we got so confused that I realized now what is where and who is what. So you see how they. Therefore, I'm also of the opinion now that you can't have conflict of interest. That is the safest way of governing. Rather do the basics right, man. Don't have conflict of interest. Don't have your audited financials.
Yeah, you can't.
Do the basics right, and then we move.
So are you
Play the
saying
game
that
first, the basics. Right.
In the 3 years that you've served, you haven't been aware of, is it 3 years or so, 2019 to 2023? It's probably 4 years, almost 4. You've not been made aware of whether Chess South Africa has paid, how much Chess South Africa has paid to its debt with the 4 nights. So you don't know whether the date has been paid up.
Exactly, I don't know, because you must bear in mind. 2019 was also COVID, and 2020 COVID.
Yes.
COVID years.
No,
So
but I'm
when
not
it's
asking if it was
COVID
paid
years,
off. But I'm just
deep
saying
under,
how
but-
much of it was paid, and obviously.
Well, I wasn't, like I say, I was fighting every meeting for financials
Yeah,
all my time.
but never successful.
I was first trying to get the financials from Shanks, then Shanks resigned and tried to get financials from Hendrik.
Yeah.
Then when the secretary resigned, there was a time when they asked me, Omar, but now why don't you become the secretary? So I said, the secretary? I'm the vice president. You want me to become secretary, minister of defense and everything? I said, no, get elections.
Yeah.
And then we can have more person power. But me now, secretary, and he was, one time he was,
opting.
he was the treasurer also.
Yeah. Who?
Yeah, I said, let's have elections, because why must you constantly co-opt and nobody will be legitimate? And the vote will always be 2 against 1, him and Hendrik and Judy against Omar, and the others can only look on like Bioscope, cinema. And I thought, no, man, I'm not going to hang on here. People outside will think I'm supporting them. But people outside is naive to think like that, because you must know when you're fighting a system of oppression or a system which is inequality, You must fight it both within and from outside.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
that is
then,
how we broke apart it. We broke apart it in the country and outside.
but then from the what have you seen
So
the
that is
financials that they've been releasing from 27 for the past few weeks
uh,
to or months?
did
Have you?
they release it? I
It's
still
bank
didn't see it. For me,
statements. It's actually bank
I
statements.
just
It looks, but it's obviously it's annual financial statements titled AFS. You haven't taken a look at it.
no, I haven't seen. If you can send it to me, maybe you got more because you could send me something that was in our executive meeting now. But that it was a
It
good
wasn't
thing that you
necessarily an
sent. It
executive
reminded me
meeting.
we.
They've just been sending them out to clubs. So they just sent a link where you register and you let them know
Yeah.
which region and club you're part of. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I say the financial. Look, I was removed from all TESA conversations when Hendrik. Then I just saw removed. Omar is removed.
But I mean, you
So
are part of the
for
club,
me,
and
it
you say
was
you
just
are part of the club. Your club must have because I think the only reason I received it is because I am part of the club, the Mobile Chess
I'm
Club.
part of just Western Province Executive also. So
Sorry.
I might the financials might have come. I'm also part of Chess Exco in Western Province, so I
Yes.
might have got the financials, but I didn't check it because for
No,
me
but maybe you
it
didn't get
doesn't
them
make sense.
personally. But I'm just trying to explain that it's not like they're going through
But
to everybody.
you,
So they're going through.
but did you have?
Yes.
Did you see it?
Yes, I've seen
Did
them.
you see the
Yes, I
financials?
have access to them.
So
Like
what is
as a club
interesting? Are we in
secretary,
a minus?
I've got a club, Malaysia's club that is in my yeah, in my
A
area.
year we in 2 million. A year we in 2 million arrears. Is it right?
That's
2 million.
true. So we've got a 1 million rand in assets, but 2 million rand in debt, apparently. So that's what it
Now
says.
where does that come from?
I don't
Now
think.
I never, like I said, sitting on the executive, I didn't even know. They always used to say we got money and we're getting this, we're getting. I never saw anything. That's why I couldn't believe anything.
But that's
So
the
if somebody
thing with
asks me, you
Hendrik.
served on the
The thing is,
executive.
unless you speak to Hendrik, because there's about apparently 5 accounts of Chess South Africa, and there's a thing that it has been rumored to be done by Hendrik to do it, where he registers a private company under the same name of the structure, the public structure that he serves in. So the money that you are probably claiming we have is probably in that private structure that you heard that the Chess South Africa is having. Because now apparently there is a Chess South Africa private company registered next to the Chess South Africa NGO. Are you aware of such things?
I'm telling you now, anything won't surprise me.
So were you
So
not
what
aware
I'm
of this
saying is
thing?
this:
Are you
when
not
I
aware of these things that apparently have been happening? Because apparently when he was a president of Tshwane Chess, I believe, or actually in the executive of Tshwane Chess, then there was a a parallel structure called Tshwane Chess outside of the Chess Federation of Tshwane Chess, which was now raising funds and obviously having its own control of things. And then when you went into Gauteng Chess, same thing. Then now with Chess South Africa, apparently the same thing has been happening. So there's now a company. So that is why apparently it's going to be very difficult for people to have, even if the new executive structure comes in to power, it might not be able to see the full financials of the Chess South Africa because people don't
so
necessarily
that's it
check
said.
the account details because apparently people believe that they are paying Chess South Africa or SHACC the public structure that we are all members of, but rather there is a private one with the same name but now different banking details that people are actually
Oh
paying
my
to.
word!
Because that's something I've heard from even the
Now,
president of KwaZulu Natal saying that when he was paying to Chess South Africa, the statement from the bank came back and it said he paid to SHACCP private company or something.
no, that's bad. That's why I'm saying it's so sad, for these things to happen because I mean, like I say, it's just sad, because for us, you come into church, you want to see good things happening, and you bring in your sincerity. But accounting is so important. That's why when I started from day one, I wanted to see the accounts. That's why I
But
wrote
you
a
know what's
letter.
saddening,
I
Dr.
am
Omar?
not
But do
responsible.
you know what's saddening the most?
Yeah.
What is most concerning, if I may put it that way? It's because You yourself, Dr. Omar Esau, being this, I mean, like I can only think of a few people in South Africa. Maybe me with my limited knowledge, I don't know, but people others will comment. You who has contributed, who is you are such a prominent member of chess in South Africa. Like I don't know, there is no other person who is an honorary member and who's honorary anything in chess in South Africa. You are part of the executive structure of Chess South Africa and were denied. Remember, but obviously it
All my
comes with the
life.
treatment. Were denied access to funds and were not was not even aware of all the other shenanigans that was happening. So what of the other lesser? I don't want to say beings, but the lesser individuals who are obviously you may not have been easy to manipulate, use, influence, delude, and so forth. But then now think of everyone else that is now serving in the structure. If you are not aware of all of this, and you obviously maybe we can claim that for the few years that you've served, you've been used obviously because your name being there gave some sort of credibility. So now the others that are remaining there, and their names with Hendrik doing his own thing, and then them being there, and them not being aware. Because if you are not aware, I cannot expect that any one of them is aware of anything. Do you see what I mean there? Do you see what point I'm getting to?
Babe, remember you have. Are you there?
I'm here.
Are you there? You
Yes,
hear me?
yeah.
Now, what is so sad for me is remember we had a financial committee
Mm.
of which Shanks was part of the financial
That's
committee.
chairperson. Yeah.
Right? If he's the so when he left as a treasurer, so I was worried because I'm not thinking why is he leaving? Is he running away with money? But in the meantime, he probably left because he could see the problems. But it was only fair of him to tell us that time already what's the problem. Speak truth to power.
Mm.
And I was then settled there to ask questions all the time. Where's the finances? Where's every meeting? You can go. I'll show you all the meetings. Every meeting, I'm saying I don't want to hear any story about the other committee. Now I want to know where's the financials
Yeah.
because I can't sit on a committee if I don't know where's the financials.
Yeah.
So then they first gave us, they spent us, they're waiting the financials from Shanks. Then they say they're waiting the financials from Limpopo. Then they tell us all this. Then it's court cases. Then it's this. What I'm saying is this, it was really not a good time to be, I always wanted to be on a chess executive because as a chess administrator from young, I was striving to, upward mobility, wanting to be one of the Olympiads, wanting to see the real thing in chess.
Mm.
And when I actually came there, it was just a damper, and that's why I confine myself to my club now and I do writing on chess. And I love the game. I can see the beauty of the game. But it's so sad that in our administration, we fighting each other from now till wherever. And even the new executive, who's good for them to find their feet. And the reason why I was out there is want to try to make a difference. And I sat in my bed and I said to myself, "You made no difference, my friend. You useless." And I told myself, "What we had to try to make a difference. We couldn't make a difference." I initially thought Hendrik was going to do good things, and I thought everybody's going to work together. But I didn't know that these people probably had other agendas. Maybe he still had a good agenda, but I can't see it. Maybe I'm too unwise to see the good agenda there. But I certainly believe
it's a matter of who is it good for.
I'm certain.
It's good, but it's a question of who is it good for. Yeah.
I was insulted in meetings, that I felt my people asked me at home, "Are you serious? You want to be on chess?" They I was fighting a lone battle, in that executive, and I was being fought against from outside, also saying, "Yeah, you're on the wrong executive." But in the meantime, I went to the ExBo meeting in Mahomole where I was a
you honestly can't. Can you think of any good contribution? Can you? I don't know. Thinking back to your time, like maybe I don't know key moments. Can you think of key moments of you being part of that executive? Key contributions that you may have made.
No. For me, a key moment in my life, I've contributed to schools chess.
No, I mean like in this executive
from grassroots.
Yeah, but now
international.
before we label this
Like
in the Chesa executive as completely useless. Can you think of possibly any key moments, maybe key contributions that you may have possibly made that you would
I
say
think
that
my
if it
key
wasn't,
contribution,
yes?
my key, my key, con- my key contribution was when I tried to speak truth to power. When I checked Hendrik and I checked that look, we want to see the real things happening,
Mm.
and I alerted the provinces, and I wrote to SESCOC and I wrote to FIDE to say, look, here's a red herring here. There's some problems here. Please come in to and I want to expose the inequality, the unfairness. So I feel for me, as a critical pedagogian, or as a transformative intellectual, I'm out there to see that we try to make things which is wrong, we try to make it right in our small way. And
Yeah.
if we shout out to say, hello, there's a problem here, this man, at least that's a good thing.
Mm.
So I feel at least I was there, and I didn't take the wrong side. I was there to say, look, injustice here, I'm trying to make a difference. The same for that period where the interim executive, when they were using the school's money, and I said, hello, I can't side with a body that's taking the school's money.
Mm.
Maybe they didn't take it physically,
Would
maybe
you
they
say,
put it, or they
sorry,
did
that
mal.
point, you see, that point is so interesting to me. Would you say that that is the reason why? Because I think I've heard some people asking, all right, now if Dr. Omar, there's Dr. Omar here, and the side of the split, why did he take, instead of, obviously there's the Joe side and the Hendrik side, why did Dr. Omar take the Hendrik side? Would you say the missing school's money was the reason why we would never or would not at the time side with the Joe side and went into the Hendrik side? Or
Yes,
answer it as you would.
definitely. That was one of my reasons, and I was part of a democratically. I would like to believe a democratically elected executive that time at the SESCOC, because I
Mm.
remember why I told you at the beginning. I was the Western Cape Development Director, and then I became the Western Cape President. Now, when you're the president of Western Cape Chess,
Yeah.
then you become the rep at the CHESA meetings. So when I went to the CHESA, I was nominated by people like Andre Lavax, who's now the president of Western Cape, or in fact, he's the interim president of CHES South Africa.
Not
So
interim,
they nominated me to become the vice.
but elect.
Sorry?
No, not interim, but
They nominated
yeah,
me
he's not is it interim? No, I don't think it was not interim elect.
legitimate.
Yeah, but it's legitimate until even though the term is short. But
Whatever elections, it's, yeah. In the meantime, they are now the recognized executive by FIDE and the recognized executive by us. So what I'm saying, Andre Lavax was on my executive in Western Cape, and
yeah,
I was nominated by them to become the vice president of CHES South Africa. So initially, Western Cape was behind Hendrik. All
yeah,
of us was behind Hendrik because we felt Joe at that time, not personally, nothing personal against Joe, but against his administration was dysfunctional because they also didn't have enough members, and they also were just co-opting. And they were
oh,
interim since Aldo Smart passed on.
since
So here we
2017.
wanted a legitimate, an
Mm,
answerable executive, and that's why I was part of that.
okay.
So since 20, sorry, I must give you the exact date. Since 2019, right?
Yeah.
2019.
Mm,
The elections early January in SESCOC office. So I became vice president. And then there was subsequently another meeting, where they had another election, and then we were in. So then there was the court cases which we in the executive weren't proud of, but then you have a lot of executive members resigning, the
mm,
legitimate ones, the ones who had a vote in the meeting,
yeah.
like the like Shanks. And so they were replaced, with people who couldn't have a vote. And at the end it was where I thought we're gonna have the elections now. And then they said, no, we're not going to have elections. The people are not in good standing. So I said, no, man, make the criteria reasonable so that we can have elections. And when the new body is in, we have all the provinces represented here, and people will then see us as legitimate.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the difference of opinions came in. And I then had to resign, and I called on SESCOC and FIDE. Now, you must know, I wasn't the only one that called on SESCOC and FIDE to come in. There was also letters from the other Jean provocateurs, the other guys like Andre them and, the provinces. So that pronged attack showed that there's problems here.
There's more people coming.
And
Yes, of
and
course.
that's
Yeah.
it. So the day the nine problems. So having said that, my respected friend, I hope I have clarified a few things to you, and I've tried to tell you that we insist we need to strive towards that, to have a democratic governance in such a way that everybody has a voice. But more than that, I think the conflict of interest has hit us now once again, and let's steer clear from conflict of interest. Have people that have no conflict, they mustn't belong to private companies and want to, because conflict of interest is everywhere, whether it's at your workplace, whether it's at universities, whether it's in any organization. They say if you've got conflict of interest, then you must steer clear. And I
Yeah.
think that
Mm.
is something that South Africa did, and that is it. So yeah, we need, and we also don't need people to be wearing a lot of hats. You know what I mean by a lot of hats? You can't be
Yes.
the treasurer and the president at the same time.
Of
You can't
course.
also be on a regional body and
Yeah.
serve on a provincial body and serve on a national body. You need to be representing that one body
Can I ask you
and
a question that
and
someone
make
that
sense
someone
out
has
of it.
sent me?
So I hope I've clarified myself. I
You,
know there's still a lot of
that
conversation.
just one. Obviously, there's a whole lot of because I would
Yes,
feel bad because this is a very avid
go for it.
viewer
Are we
and
live?
on chess
Sorry,
on chess and
are
why.
we live?
We are recording. We're not live. No, no, we're not live. We're recording. We'll go live after. Obviously, we'll publish after a
Yes.
few hours. Yes. So now, I just wanted
Oh,
to ask.
are we live? Somebody asked me.
No, because there's some people that have that constantly ask me. So who are you interviewing next? And I was able to say. And this one wanted to know for sure. They had this one question. You've seen it. I sent it to you. It says, if you could you care to comment on Hendrik de Deutsch saying, "I have no intention to stand again for president. Our only goal is our objective. Then I have done my bit and time to hand over the baton. However, we have no intention to
Yeah.
hand over the baton to the corrupt and illegitimate." So if you could comment on that for him, and then I'd appreciate it. I'd feel like I've
Yes.
also
Look,
done my bit.
I can't speak for Hendrik, but what I interpreted when he said that he wanted a grassroots election. Now I don't know. He wanted one man, one vote. In other words, he wanted to do away with provinces, which I feel you can't do away with provinces.
What would you want? Yeah. Mm?
You wanted the man in the street to walk and say, "Look, I want to vote," and I don't want to vote.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? 65 million people voting. You got coordinated structures which have their provincial governance, and that's why
They wanted to
SRSA,
do it in
and you have what you have
idle
in each.
voting type of thing, where you could actually start a voting farm, depending on how much money you have. If you could have people, and you could
Yeah,
transport
no.
people.
You wanted people who played in the list and pay, and these people can only vote. For me,
Hmm.
that is laughable because he's trying to say he wants to give everybody a voice. He wants to sound like he's the demagogue. I refute that. I say we must work with our structures. Our provinces must be given their rightful places, and the regions must be subservient, not subservient, but be coordinated and work with the provinces. And then also schools and junior chess must fuse together to become youth chess, youth chess, giving the poorest of the poor the opportunity to play in a very expensive tournament. If you have a big pyramid, system where people travel close proximity, they play each other, and then only the top, the cream of the crop plays in a
Move
junior
forward,
such a youth
move up. Yeah.
championship. So you don't have. Now the reason why they wanted thousands and 2,000s and 3,000s kids coming to play here like
You
a Mardi Gras, they end up
you don't understand, or you probably understand.
go
Like your vision, like you're outlining it not right now, is so in alignment with the
they
president
want to
of
make money. Now I
KwaZulu-Natal,
was yes.
I
Are we
don't know if
nearly
you're
finished?
aware, if
Sorry.
you've read his
What you say?
manifesto, if you've read Lendokuhle Ngubane's manifesto, the first vice president after Hendrik, after Andre
Hmm?
Levax, yes. Because he was saying the same thing. But obviously, we all understand that
Yeah,
you were saying that the more people
I
go in there, the more money they make. But what he's saying essentially as well is that this pyramid structure, that the top go forward, top from region, top from municipality, top from region, and so
yes,
forth.
yeah. No, no, I agree with that system because you don't want, say for instance, you have a provincial championship instead of the junior championship where you have 1,000 people traveling with a horse and a cart. You
Yes.
need to have just the top structure where you have the 10 best ladies or the 10 best girls and the 10 best boys of two per age group playing in a championship. Then you just have about 90 people playing in a championship, and accommodation will be easy. We can help pay them to come there, and then everybody gets an opportunity from grassroots up. But you
Mm.
can't just say it's an invitation for all. You can come, just bring your
Uh,
thousands.
as
Then
long as
where
you
does
can
the money go?
pay. They
Who's
even extended it to another province,
exactly?
to
So
another country. But now I wanted to ask, you
that
see,
is
in answering
that
that
is
question,
yeah, that is what I fought. That is what I fought all the years, and I wasn't famous for that.
so the question says
Because
that one that was we were on. It says it starts. I think the quote starts with, "I have no intention to stand again for president." What do you say to that? Do you believe it or do you not believe it? Do you believe Hendrik does not have any intention to stand again for president or not?
if you were speaking the truth at that time, then why didn't you want to have elections?
Great. That answers me. Quick. I don't expect anymore. And then the next part is
Then why did
our
you spend? If you why did you spend 9 provinces?
hmm,
Why did you spend 9 provinces? And why didn't you want to have elections?
spirit
And where's your audit that
financials. And then now he says our only goal is our objective, which I don't know if he has the objective. Then I have done my bit and time to hand over the baton. Then this part that comes in. However, we have no intention to hand over. I think I need you to comment more on this part. We have no intention to hand over the baton to the corrupt and illegitimate.
now I'm asking you who's the corrupt and illegitimate people that he's talking about?
Mm,
Because for me, if you in your province, and I come from Western Cape, and I can definitely tell you and vouch for people like Andre Lavax and everybody in Western Province that is people that's above board. They serve and they noble and they try their best and they are all have a democratic structure. So I don't see them as corrupt. I see them as people wanting to serve.
you can't
And
see them
then
as
if the
illegitimate.
other provinces have the same things, then how can you tell them the people are corrupt? What person wants to serve? If when people become corrupt,
Mm,
when you have somebody coming in and a quick out, a fly in and a fly out.
yeah.
You know what's a fly in and a fly out? Somebody that comes into chess, you just see the other person comes in and comes with fabulous ideas, and tomorrow the person is gone. If you look at the chess, if you want to go see who's the chess people of this country, look at the people who's been serving all their life and has been with chess, and you always see them, whether they lowly rated players or whether they administrators, they will always be
Where
around
they
and find out who are the real people in chess and who are the entrepreneurs in chess.
mm,
Entrepreneurs, people who want to make money, whether it's in the form of coaching, whether it's in a form of giving you a certificate and then saying you're going to be legal now, they're giving you a coaching certificate.
mm,
Some of the people coach at schools. They are the best coaches and you don't even know their names, but they are sincerely teaching the kids how to play chess. But now you come with somebody who somehow they're going to stamp and say, no, you are the best chesser. If I must tell you something, my brother, then you will be sad. We have, and this is something I want to say, it is not the individuals that is so bad as the corrupt system that we have in chess South Africa. We have a system which is corrupt. Now, what is the system? You must change the system. Now, that is the problem.
mm.
Because any individual coming into chess, whether he got good intentions, he is going to become bad because of the system.
Oh,
Now, how do you change the system? You must look at the systems analysis and analyze what is making chess tick in South Africa. Now, there is certain things that must be done once you're in charge of chess, and it's a system. And
Mm.
that system filters down from FIDE. So if you can try to see, I want to make a different system. Man.
What system is
Why
perhaps?
must we have
Which
junior?
system are you referring to? Just clarify on the system.
When I'm talking about the chess system in South Africa, I'm talking about there's a rating system, am I right?
Yes.
There's an arbiter system, right?
Yes.
There's a coaching system.
Is
There's
there a coaching system?
administration system. So there's
I don't-
existing systems.
Yeah.
So if you look at South Africa per se, who is in charge of ratings in South Africa?
Gunta.
Did you ever think about that?
Yes.
Listen, I don't want to give names here. I'm not saying Gunta is corrupt. Gunta is only working part of the system.
Mm.
So if Gunta is part of the rating system,
Mm.
then you want to look at who's part of the arbiter system. Then you're seeing who's part of the coaching system. Then you see who's part of the player system. Then you want to see if you put all this together, what type of system are we pushing here? Do we
I
have
wasn't aware.
proper
See, I'm
governance?
aware that there's Gunta in the rating system, but who's in the other systems? Is there any head in all the other systems?
Is Gunta in charge of all the systems?
No, I don't think so.
Did you ever think of it? Did you think of it? I'm not saying he's corrupt. All I'm saying, Gunta is also with the arbiters.
Yes.
He's with the ratings.
Yes.
He's with all the new. He's with the new governance. Say
Not
the new
coaching.
government.
I don't think there's a coaching system, but I understand that he's
You
in the
think,
arbiters.
you know how the
Eh? Sorry, I'm sorry, but you might need to say again because I have my. It's reconnecting. My God, so sorry. So sorry. It just started reconnecting while we were still on Gunta.
well, you know
Yeah.
how the coaching system works.
I don't
The
know.
coaching
In fact.
systems indirectly is
Sorry, you're saying the coaching system indirectly is. That's where you got cut off. And since I can't see your video, it means I can't hear you.
also worked by the ratings. Are you there? Yeah, I want to
Yes.
tell
Yes.
you, and the ratings. Ratings play an important role in who's your coaches, who's your Olympiad players, and all those things. So also people get paid for ratings to go higher and ratings to get lower and to be overseas. And so what I'm saying, you must look at the governance system of chess in this country, and then you must unpack all those systems, and then you must look into who's going to be the executive and who's feeding into what, and then you will try to make sense of what is happening in chess in South Africa, and then you will see who's the leadership. I say we must just conclude, man. I'm just saying you must look at the complete system and see how the system put together,
Mm.
and who are the people that are constantly also there to see that corruption happens. So, look, I'm not saying it's the CIA and the FBI involved here, but please check who are the people controlling chess.
Yeah.
Because didn't you see names came through and some people were selected and others weren't selected?
What to go back
So
to
who
elect-
selects the people?
Yes.
Yeah, why were so who didn't select them and who is the one that controlling that selections?
Apparently they didn't meet the.
So what I want to say, Gunther, no, it was just yeah, but once some say the guy missed one game for 49 games and then there'd be 50 games, and then the games were that he played was a player didn't turn up, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you, it's those type of things that you must be aware of, and then also what people get enriched from chess in the country. Why would they want certain people to be in charge and not other people? Because if they don't get fed, then they won't become fat cows, So look deeper, not just what the eye can see, and look and see who really controls the what of chess in South Africa and maybe in the world. But let's
That's in South Africa.
just
Before we go to the world,
focus on
let's look at our own Gunta.
the
Yeah.
Africa for now. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for interviewing me. I know we still got a lot to talk about. But like I say, sometimes it's not just the governance you see, but it's also the hidden governance that is out in the chess world, which forces people to sort of act the way they're acting, and that's it, you know. So yes, you have the chess executive on the one side, but you also have the chess custodians on the other side, people who control chess, you know,
Mm.
and therefore people just all need to go into that sort of kraal and think in a certain way. But I think what we need is new leadership who can think out of the box, you know, make the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar, and become transformative in their actions to take chess into a better world. Because one GM, after how many years of chess in South Africa, it doesn't make sense. We got geniuses here and we need to build more GMs. So,
Yeah.
in conclusion, I want to thank you for bringing the spirit of chess alive with this wine and dine. And let's go out there and make a difference, you know. So I hope to engage again at another time. But I think you got a fantastic program going, and it's your sincerity that's going to take everything forward. And I'm sure when you get the different ideas of different people together, you will be able to put some book together where you can say, this is more or less consensus what you've heard over the years from the different viewpoints of the respected players, coaches, administrators, and then also, of course, planners. So thank you so much, and Godspeed. Have a beautiful Christmas, and may we see brighter chess in the future. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for your
sir.
time. Thank you so much for your insights and obviously your contributions, Dr. Omar. Hopefully, we get to engage with you some other time and help grow more
Fantastic. Fantastic.
leaders, as in fact, in South Africa. And but one more question, if I have, do you have any interest in in chess administration in the future, in being involved in chess administration in the future?
Look, my passion is always to take South Africa to become the best chess nation in the world, you know.
Mm.
And I say, look, the government has put a lot, not the government, but the communities have put a lot of money in me as a person. You know, when I've been in chess governance since 1985, 1990s already. So going on trips, going, I know all the provinces in the country. I've met different people, beautiful people. So all that things has been given to me. You know, I've been sponsored education. I've been in there for chess. Chess paid them. In fact, my PhD is in chess, and I've done all these things. So I would like to give back to chess and give them the best governance that they can,
Mm.
and be part, not a one person party, of course. I would like to be part of a democratic governance where I can maybe give my input in a critical way, where we can sort of take chess, you know, on another plateau, something better, you know. But what I love is yes, there must be a rigorous conversation, there must be arguments, but no, there mustn't be court cases, and
Yeah.
then there mustn't be, you know, don't get personal, don't fight people on a personal level, fight the you know, rather go for the lesson instead of the individual. And I think that is the growth and the maturity that is needed in our administration. Don't take things personal. When I tell you, hey, Hendrik, I don't agree with you, blah, 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 in a meeting, that doesn't mean I don't love his family and I don't love his children. And you know, it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
about
yeah.
don't taking things personal. See it as the debate on the table, you
Mm,
see.
mm,
And I think that is the maturity needed in a lot of our administration, be it on a South African level or on a FIDE level or on any other level.
mm,
Don't take things personal, take things for the good of mankind, and then to sort of take us on a level where we can even say, you know, we give the poorest of the poor the opportunity to get somewhere in the world, and then we can go back. And you know, for me, when one of the kids of the township one day, when he or she got a medal in Free State, and came to me and said, "This medal you deserve this because you did this A, B, C, and D." It was tears in my eyes, you know. So if we can make one person happy and we can make a difference, then I think we're busy changing the world. You know, that's important. and
Yeah.
that's it. So I'm grateful for you interviewing people, your inquiry mind, and whatever people can say this, that, this, that. You're doing a good job. You're wanting to enlighten people, and you want to give people information. And the best thing is to give information, but not incorrect information. You know what I'm saying? Then we are trying to split people and fight animosity. Information must be the right information,
Mm.
and the people must be able to say, "Oh, now I understand." So for me, if I send out messages, I say, "Yes, I love Hendrik, I love Joe, I love all the chess fraternity, and I want them to work together." And that is important. But it doesn't mean that Hendrik is against Joe or Joe
Mm.
is against Hendrik. Like I said, you must look deeper.
You're
Look at
subscribing to
the
just a certain
mechanisms.
ideology, though. Yeah. With each of them represent maybe
Yeah, the
certain
bigger.
level. Mm.
Why do you think people want to have thousands of kids, at the end of the year when they could have had thousands of kids throughout the year and have that pyramid system? Why? If you look at it, you realize it's economics. Why? I mean,
Yeah.
why can't you have a first base and then at the end of the year you have the top of the pops playing each other? Only 10 or 20 players in a room, and those are the cream of the crop of the country. But now you still want thousands.
Sorry,
Why?
Dr. Omar. I
Doesn't
just
make
want to
sense.
I want to when because the thing is I want to confirm because the first time I had the name of your club, the my you'll remind me the name
Manyanani Chess Club.
Manyanyani. Is it the one where
Manyanani Busy Benzi. Manyanani Busy Benzi, it means united, not Man United, it's Man City though, but I mean,
it means
it
it's
means united.
Manyanani.
Manyanani
Oh,
Busy
tighten
Benzi.
up. So basically,
Manyanani.
it's tighten up
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Manyana, I mean,
To
like the
be
thing is, when I
together,
hear people, all the people that have been saying it have never have I have ever heard anybody saying it in the Nguni accent. That's why I could not make sense
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
togetherness.
But if you say it in the
It's
Nguni
togetherness.
sense, because I'm also Nguni, Siswati, I speak Swati. So
Yes. Then you must come
Manyanani
join our
means,
club.
eh?
Then you must come join our club because if you Nguni and then also your rating must be up.
So manyanani basically means tighten up together. Like if you mania something, you tighten. You're coming too close
Yes.
to it. Like yes. So that's why I wanted to ask because I heard is it Charlton are the Manyasta brothers playing there, cousins, relatives? Charlton Manyasta?
No,
No.
listen to these people. No, Calvin Klaassen plays for us. Watu used to play
Oh,
for
the Super
us.
FM.
And,
Feed us the Carbon
and
Classic.
then Shabir Bawuddin, Chaps. And then we've
Dr.
got the
Shabir,
The
yeah,
Rogoff.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
you know,
Shabir.
I love. I don't know why. I like it's a joke to Dr. Shabir. I met him at the Moja
He is
event.
the player he's the player that plays the most chess in the country, Dr. Shabir
Dr.
Bawuddin.
Shabir, he's such. I like. I don't know, man. I don't know
Yes.
whether it's his character and him as
He's
well
part of
as
he's part
that
of my
senior
club.
that plays such good chess as well. And then I had to
Then we
accompany him
have
to his car at the Moja event last year as an arbiter because he
yes.
was playing and then he wanted to go get something from his car.
Then we also have a player, the top player at the moment in the country is from Russia, Rogov. He's only 15 years old.
Is he playing from the
Rogov.
Manyanani?
Manyanani, yes.
Rogov.
Rogov, the Rogov brothers, the Rogov family.
The winner of the best chess player in Cape Town as well.
Yes, that's
Wow.
Rogov. He also is from Manyanani. So we have no limit. We import all the players. They come to us. They play for us.
Rogov.
Kenny used to play for us. Kenny
If you watch some
Solomon.
of my movies, I mean my videos. I'm sorry, I've spoken a lot about Rogov. Like Rogov, hey,
Rogov, yeah, no, he's our player. Now
yeah.
he's got his younger brothers also top player playing for us, and he's got the other brothers. So we have three players. Rogov, they play online chess
Is it the
every day.
Matfei
We get
brothers or the
online
Rogov
coaches.
brothers? Because I know it's Rogov Matfei. Which one is the
Yes.
surname? The
So
surname is Rogov or it's Matfei?
it's
Which is
three
the
players.
surname? Rogov or Matfei?
No, their surname is Rogov. It's
Oh,
Metfi and Timothy Rogov.
oh, Matfei Rogov. So
So
it's
those are the
Matfei. That's
players.
the top one.
Then Then we also got good administrators there. The one guy's name is Greg Baker. I don't know if you heard about him,
No,
but you
bacon.
give a shout out to Greg Baker saying that everybody in the chess fraternity want to thank Greg because whenever we had tournaments, this
Yeah.
gentleman comes with water. He comes with water to all the tournaments. So if there's 2,000 or 1,000 players, then he sponsors the water
For
to all the
everyone.
players. That's
Oh, shout out to him.
everyone.
Damn.
Yeah. So these good guys that's walking around, and we've got some of the most elderly players in the country, like a Fasih Mani. He used to play. He was the best player in the 80s,
Hmm.
but he didn't have the opportunity to play chess because of apartheid. So there's Gordon Lawrence. Check the names. Kasim Slamang. So our club has got a basis of elderly players and a good youngsters coming through. And Donovan van der Heever also plays for us now and then,
I
and
am.
Shabir's son. So you're
International
having
Master
good
Donovan.
players. Uzziah, Donovan van der Heever, yeah, he's also one of
Yeah.
our players.
That's
So we've got
interesting.
lots of wealth in our club, and that's it. It's a vibrant club. We've been the champions, the African champions in 2017,
How so?
and
African
then
champions in
we've
what
been
way?
the Western African champions, meaning where there was an All African Championship in Cape Town. So we won it,
So was that the
and
last
then
time
we
it
also
happened? Because
won
I
the
haven't heard of
Western.
the All African
It's
Championship.
the last time. It's the last time that it happened. Yeah, in
Mm,
2017,
2017.
and then we became Western Cape champions. We became the Western Province champions. But at the moment, the Steinert's team, no Stellenbosch just popped. Yeah, they brought in Henry Steele, from retirement just to win. And then of
Yes,
course
because that's
Dr.
how
Lyndon
serious it
Bauer
is.
with his
You see, that just shows you how serious the competition
Steinerts.
is.
They always do. So for us, we are there. We want to beat them. These are our opponents, the Steinerts. They're a
Yeah.
beautiful club, but they
Mm.
also started at the same time when we started in 1976.
Oh.
So these were the clubs that started with us over the years, and we've walked the path. We've been,
In
playing each
1976,
other, vying for.
we should try
I
to
was
connect
still in
into one
primary school.
day.
And
No.
Roland Willenberg brothers,
No, but
Willenbergs,
Roland
they from
Willenbeck. I know the
Steiner.
Willenbeck brothers, but I think Roland Willenbeck is a legend. And I don't know if people realize
Now,
that.
now coming to the word legend, listen to
Yes.
me. I was given the opportunity to select the chess legends, for the castle for the Heritage Day for January,
Yes.
and I chose Roland Willenberg as a legend.
And I
Roland
agree.
Willenberg,
Yes.
he's one of our legends, and you
No,
agree with me,
I
right? So
do.
Roland is my friend, and then we also chose Mark Lewis as a legend, also from their club, one of the elderly guys, Mark Lewis,
Yes,
and
I
then we
know.
also chose another person, and this guy is 90 years old already,
Hmm.
but he's Harold Cressy's principal. His name is none other than how can't I, Mr. Ritchie, Victor Ritchie,
Victor Richie.
started schools chess, in the early 40s and 50s, and he's still alive, and so we're going to honor these elderly guys for contributing towards chess over the years. And then we also have, I wanted to look up this person's name, Watu Kobesi. Of course, he's the guy that played the most Olympiads in South Africa. So he's also one of our young legends. He's a
What do you
young guy,
mean I
but he's
must
going to be
look
a
up
legend.
what Dukobe say? Me look up what Dukobe
No, no,
say.
no. I didn't want to give you Watu Kobesi. The other name, listen to this name. Uh, this guy, Charles de Villiers. Charles
Yeah,
de
but I mean, what
Villiers.
Dukobe said does not need
He's
looking
another
up. I mean,
legend.
like, what Dukobe say, I
No,
mean,
no, wait, not
yeah.
not not Watu Kobesi. Sorry, I wanted to look up the name of Charles de Villiers.
Charles de Villiers, I've heard of
Charles
the
de
name.
Villiers
Yeah, I must look him
is
up, but
one
I've
of the
heard of him.
players.
I've
He
heard him
played
a couple
he
of times.
played for Manianani as well.
Yes.
But Charles de Villiers is one of the and he's one of our legends as well.
Mm.
So we've got the list of legends, and these are the names of people popping up. So Watu is the youngest legend because
Okay.
he is the one that played the most Olympiads in this country.
Yeah,
represented South Africa in the
so many
Olympics.
times from early in the day. What you always say is
So,
what is something? I must get a good
oh,
reason to interview what to very soon, and I'll get it.
and also Watu Kobesi also wrote a book in Kosa, isiXhosa, a beginner's book in isiXhosa
Masidlaleni,
for
that's
chess.
when I saw your book called Let's Play Chess. The name
Yeah.
of his book is the same as yours, but it's in Xhosa.
My book was written because I wrote the book Let's Play Chess because the government asked us to train the teachers. You
Yeah,
know, instead of training kids, we feel train the teachers, training trainers.
yeah.
If you train the teacher can teach 1,000 kids at the school.
But that's
So
the
you must
reason.
empower the
That's the
teachers.
same. That's the same reason why I wrote the chess manual. Because I've also got a chess manual that I wrote, a book called the
Fantastic,
Coach Chess
fantastic.
Manual, and I use it for that same purpose. But obviously, I only reach about
No,
30, 40 schools. No,
no,
50
that's why
schools,
it's easier. We train the trainers and they can
and then
train a
they can train
1,000
the
players.
kids. Yes, with the basics. Yeah,
So
but
there's lots
this
of
book was in
excitement.
Xhosa, right?
Yes, so there's
Yeah.
a lots of excitement and lots of good things that's happening in chess, you know.
Hmm.
Then another person we must mention in chess, and I think this person got a lot of knowledge to as an advisor for chess in the country, is none other than Dr. Lyndon Bower. Have you
Dr.
heard about
Lyndon
Dr.
Bauer is always contributing, and
So he's also a very good person. So when we want to take chess forward, you must have a Bosbarat, you know, a Bosbarat, or what they call we can all go away and we can discuss the matters of chess, get the chess brains in the country, put them together, and then we see how we can take chess forward. Yes, sir. And on that boat, it must be a boat, you know, and
mm.
then we move on that boat. It must be all the good people, and you must be on that boat, my brother, because you got. So, having said that, you know, until we meet again, I want to say thank you so much, you know, for you. And whenever somebody wants to do something good for chess, I always admire that person. And if truth be told, we love those the people who want to do good things, you know, and
Yeah,
make the society a better society.
of course.
Because we must always see the glass as half full, not half empty.
Of
And there's
course.
always light.
It's good.
Yeah, your glass is full, yeah. So thank you so much. Until we meet again.
I'd like to Omar, thank you for your time and have a good
Yeah, no.
evening. Truly
Sharp,
appreciate it.
sharp,
Good evening.
sharp,
Bye
sharp.
bye. Sharp.
Oh, good. Oh, good. That ends good.
Yeah, thank you.
In course.